Hello everyone, I hope you're sitting comfortably because this is going to be the third and it's the third and final time that we are racing here in Silverstone. Over the course of the last 3 days has been the festival of excitement and speed, hasn't it, around Silverstone, and I've got to say, unfortunately, that no fans have been able to be allowed to go into the into Silverstone circuit this season. You guys on the comments there and watching the streams have really made up for it, and it's been fantastic over the past couple of days. Really good stuff indeed then, as well as you are joining us for the third installment then of what has been an absolutely exciting last couple of days in the ALR Silverstone, and really has. And you can see the track layout then for the third and final time. 18 turns around here, 3.6 miles long, with a lap record set by Lewis Hamilton back in 2019, of course. Then let's go through the drivers in the constructor standing, shall we? Just before we get into the action as well, it is Velocity, who had such a commanding, dominating performance last time out. His start was electric, wasn't it? We had a couple of issues on the formation lap last time, which might have contributed to that start, but nevertheless, it was a brilliant start nonetheless, wasn't it? Energetics is now second, but he's 42 points behind Velocity now. Then he is dropping further and further back. He needs a strong weekend now, doesn't he? Newman and both McLarens touched in Austria, didn't it? Reminiscent of what happened back in 1999, wasn't it, where Coulthard and Hakkinen touched, but unfortunately for Newman and Mike, that neither of them finished on the podium as far as I was aware, but still Newman there with a fantastic was now moved up to third in the driver's standings. Anyway, Mike has dropped out of the top three, it's down to fourth, and of course remember the top three get promoted, don't they? Fifth position is Noonday. He's had a fantastic season, Noonday, isn't he? Albeit he is 53 points behind the top four, but he has moved up into fifth position as well. Curly and the Gore have dropped down one apiece then. Ayrton, also a strong performance from him this season as well. Two drivers, Noonday and Ayrton, been outstanding. And Ayrton is only 9 points away from the Gort as well, to move himself up into seventh then. Forza, of course, remember this time last season he won this race, didn't he? He was fantastic around here last season. Brilliant stuff indeed there for Forza, isn't it? Can he replicate what he did last season? Remember, he had a great race last time out in Austria. I think he got his first podium of the season. Rembo in 10th position, finished off the top 10. Maz in 11th position, dropping down one position as well. Roscoe has moved himself off the bottom of the stands as well. He is now in 17th position. He's moved up 4 spots in the Renault, and of course we do have a couple of we got a transfer thing just to go through as well, which we'll talk about in just a jiffy then, as in the constructors, Williams now takes the lead over McLaren after McLaren's woeful event last time out in Austria. Unfortunately, can they bounce back? We'll find out. It's not. McLaren have been fantastic, haven't they, since Mike and Newman have taken over those two seats. They've been brilliant, haven't they? Alfa Romeo, the former constructors champions at the moment, are 95 points away from Williams, aren't they? Renault in 4th position, and with Haas in 5th. 6th position is the Ferrari. Racing Point 7th. AlphaTauri 8th. Mercedes in 9th, and Red Bull completes the top 10. If anyone is interested on the fastest lap from last season, of course, the fast racing lap was set by Nude Potato, wasn't he? He's not in the race this time around, is he? And of course, Forza was the race winner. But so we're going to definitely, it's going to definitely get very interesting here tonight, isn't it? As they're coming out of the garage now, and I've got to say, it's looking very angry in the sky, isn't it? Goodness me. Velocity, very similar to Jonathan Cox's method in qualifying, isn't he? He doesn't waste time in the pits. He gets out there straight away and on it like Sonic, isn't he? As he's coming down the Wellington Straight as well. We've got a bit of heat haze halfway down the Wellington Straight, but it is very doom and gloom overhead at the moment, isn't it? Look at how bad it's overcast at the moment then, as we got Forza saying that hello, long shot repeating last season's result, no pressure then. Well, of course, remember, Forza is on a fine Vettel at the moment, isn't he? He got his podium last time out in Austria, as I've already mentioned then, so hopefully he can at least get on the podium here tonight as well, and make up a couple more positions in the driver's stand as well. Gunar's also joined me as well, as he's said good evening as well. Hello, Gunnar. On board then over the shoulder here with Velocity as well, he's coming down the Hangar Straight as well. So at the moment, this is not fast lap then, and we've got a lot of cars out on circle at the moment then. It's going to be quite a traffic jam, isn't it? Albeit there's 3.6 miles, so I'm sure they can evenly spread out, which of course that is not the case at all, is it really? Because these are Formula 1 drivers. They want to be on the track at the perfect time, don't they? They're very selfish, these creatures are, aren't they? As Velocity comes across the line and he starts us up now. I've got to say, Velocity is probably one of the least salvage out there, because he knows he's got the talent, doesn't he? All he needs to do is just drive fast. It doesn't matter about the track conditions at all, does it? And Velocity then is just coming into the first part of the lap as well. Then Velocity, of course, had pole position last Sunday, didn't he? No, it wasn't last Tuesday. I should say. Apologies, I'm still in Formula 1 mode, aren't I? Why? I'm always in Formula 1 mode because I commentate on it, of course. And yellow flags down the hanger straight when the Ferraris there was just going slightly slow at the moment, so I've got to move my headset because my microphones are actually in the way, which I've never had that problem before. We've got Velocity just coming out of Luffield as well, and on the Old National Pit Straight as well, which is anything but a straight, really, isn't it? Before coming up to Copse Quarter. These names are legendary, aren't they, in this part of the world? They're synonymous with the British Grand Prix as well. Now into Maggots in Beckett's, and a lovely over the shoulder shot from Velocity as well. A bit of correction there on the wheel, and of course this is very fitting to have the 70th Grand Prix, 70th anniversary around here, wasn't it? Of course, round 5 of the 2020 Formula 1 season. Unfortunately for us then in ALR, we only have one run race around here, and I got to say, I'd love to have another race around here next weekend as well, for both gold and silver, and wonder about bronze as well. Well, that's soon to be, that remains to be seen at the moment, doesn't it? Velocity out of turn 18 as well. He is fast as a 25.335, and to start off the times then. We have got, I think it's an Alpha Tari, isn't it? A stereogram who hasn't got any points yet in his career. He's as he comes across the line as well, he has done a 28 stereogram, as I said, in the Alfa Romeo then, but of course I think he's in the best place, isn't he, in terms of getting some experience behind him now. We've just got Bradfield is gone now, and he is the first victim then of the cops there, and he is out of qualifying already. Of course, he seems to have a lot of bad luck either in qualifying or the race, doesn't he? He doesn't seem to have a good clean event then, but well, of course, as he had a great qualifying the last 2 Grand Prix, but connection issues. Tonight, unfortunately, he's out of qualifying before he even got to the halfway mark of Q1, and that's a big blow for Bradfield. He is out of qualifying, and that is our first casualty of Copse Quarter as well. No, my goodness me, Nunda's gone off in a huge way, and he is spinning around there, and luckily he hasn't hit anything, Nunda. Oh, goodness gracious me then, and that was coming out of Beckett's, I think it was, and blimey, Nunda, they're a very lucky cherry indeed there. Goodness gracious me. No, he might be a Bournemouth supporter, I don't know, but he was a very lucky man indeed, wasn't he, Nunda? But he recovers, that lap is almost certainly done, but luckily the Williams car is all in one piece. I wonder if he might come back into the garage there and put on some new tyres then, because those tyres are going up. Well, he's still trying to warm them up, I think then, so I wonder if they were cold, which is why he swapped ends there. Very dramatic there from Nunda, and definitely woke me up then as well. Roscoe coming down the back straight as well, on board a Camaro Racer as well, just in front of us, I think is a racing point of Curly Red then. Mars has gone into third fastest. Newman is into second now in the McLaren. Sean Hammers then, and I think we should talk about Sean Hammers before we get into any other detail. And here he is then. It's great to see him back on the grid then, isn't it, for ALR Bronzer. He's taken a couple of weeks off then, and he has returned now with the AlphaTauri team. Dead Rubber is dropped down to reserve then. So let's see what Sean Hammers could do then as well. Of course, a former podium sitter as well. He had a great season last season, didn't he? I think he probably wish he returned last race, because he had a great race, didn't he, in Austria last season. Fantastic. Yeah, so Sean Hammers now is a confirmed full-time driver for the AlphaTauri team. Good stuff indeed. We're on board Roscoe, another man who's very new to ALR Bronze, but at the moment he's invalidated his time, hasn't he, from the Renault, and he is unfortunately going to have to go around and do another lap as well. As Sirius Merchant saying, good evening and good luck to the Bronzalons there, or Bronzalons then, I think. I apologise, I can't read very well. I need to get my old specs out, don't I, since I am now I'm a golden Odie now. You could say I'm a silver surfer, which I probably should have said that joke last night, really, shouldn't I? I really missed the beat or two there, don't I? I got opportunities though in the next race, which of course is in the Hungarian Grand Prix, isn't it? Another classic track. Another classic track in this very difficult part of the season, isn't it? As we go from Britain to Hungary, then to Belgium and Italy. Goodness me, those next 4 tracks are basically written in Formula 1 folklore, aren't they? They're brilliant circuits indeed there. And bronze, silver and gold is going to put on an absolute clinic, aren't they, in Formula 1 race, and I have no doubt about that, and I am looking forward to that one in the coming weeks as well. But of course I'm looking too far ahead into the future. I need to be looking into here and now, don't I? high. And here comes Ayrton as well, as we've already mentioned. Ayrton he only had 1 point last season, albeit we're now in uncharted territory in terms of the form book of bronze. We only had 9 races last season under Forest Watch. This is the under Forest Watch. He got a full season with bronze, hasn't he? Which is fantastic, isn't it? And now then we have got 22 races to go. We've got 22 races, and this is round 12. We've got 10 to go here tonight. But Ayrton I think Ayrton has improved dramatically, hasn't he, over the past, since season 1 to season 2. So fantastic to see, isn't it? On board down Verton as he comes through Cops Corner as well. We've already seen Bradfield in the wall there. It is very dull over at the moment. The last two races around here, yesterday and on Sunday, it was beautiful weather. It was beautiful sunshine, wasn't it, out there? And we haven't actually had a hint of rain at all in any of the sessions we've had so far, which is absolutely unusual. It's very unusual, isn't it, to see a race around Silverstone, to see 2 races around Silverstone with no participation whatsoever. No precipitation, I think, isn't it? Not participation. There's me trying to be all clever and stuff, and I got the wrong P word out as well. That could have got a lot worse though, because I know a lot of P words, so perhaps then it's best left unsaid. Ayrton comes to the final corner. He is 7th fast at the moment. Good 17th there for Ayrton. Fran, who's really turned up the wick in the last couple of weeks, hasn't he? In the Mercedes, he's been brilliant. Here comes Energetics. The pressure's on Energetics now. He's 42 points behind Velocity. He is 2nd fast at the moment now. His Velocity is in the 24.9s at the moment then. Sorry, the 24.6 I should say, as I've got that completely the wrong way around. Back on board Roscoe as well. We've got Mike, who is also dropped out of top 3. Here's Rembo as well in 8th position in the championship. Forza, the former race winner last time out. Here comes Fran, and Fran has really improved dramatically, hasn't he? He is 7th fastest now, Fran is, and we'll see what he can do in the race as well, but 7th fastest so far. Forza is on the Wellington straight as well. We're just taking a look then. Here comes Micah coming out of I think now it's just coming out of Luffield, I think it was, or just after Luffield I should say. Roscoe, this is his 3rd bite of the cherry then. He goes 9th fast and he could probably go quicker than that as well, Roscoe, because that is 4 laps on those soft tyres then as well, so they're not going to be the absolute premium, are they? Here comes Mike then, of course, as he is now coming out of Chapel, I should say, and he's coming down the back straight then. And there's Mercedes in the background as well. Of course, McLaren are going to be partnered up with Mercedes next season as well. I'd like to hear your thoughts, actually, because there's a letter going around Instagram and Facebook at the moment. I noticed it when I was just given there's a quick plug. Where I noticed it when I was given a ALR Instagram post, a quick like. And of course, if you don't follow ALR on Instagram, I suggest you do. But there's that Brandon has left the session. That's not good. He's down in 17th position at the moment then. And with 7 minutes to go, he needs to get that sorted out if he wants to get into qualifying too. So Mike Dennis in 8th position as well, because 17. What about Forza? Forza just jumps over to 4th position in the Ferrari. Lovely 17. Then you're going to just go after that shameful plug by me. Here comes Steve coming down the hangar straight as well. His 2nd appearance in the Haas car for Steve as well. Let's see what he can do then. And he is in 18th position at the moment. Yeah, I've been reading about Rio's apparently had an agreement with Chase Carey, hasn't he, about Rio replacing the Interlagos circuit for the Brazilian Grand Prix. I would like to hear your thoughts about that, if anyone's actually heard about it, or if that was just someone who's sold me a dummy. And I'm quite a I believe anything I hear, really. So I'd be interested to hear if anyone else has heard about that, or if that was just someone just giving me a good old just reading things I shouldn't be reading. And oh no, and RD Weed then is Newman's retired from the session quite early on there, and he's in the pits then, so he feels he's comfortably through. RD Weed, and of course then it's over the past couple of weeks to show that he's got some formidable pace there, but unfortunately he just can't seem to get the results, can he, RD Weed? At the moment he's worse facing the wrong way. Gunnar is now improved up into a fantastic 14th position, and he is currently through at the moment then, but I think that Nunda has got more in the package as well. Remember, he was spinning, wasn't he? He's down on his first intermediate split time now, isn't he, Nunez at the moment? Sam has said evening. Good evening, Sam. I hope you're well. Of course, Sam had a very strong British Grand Prix, and if that safety car didn't come out for Sam, I think he would have got a couple some major points as well. And I'm sure he's involved in an incident as well, wasn't he? I can't remember too far back. I need to. I'm gonna have to watch the highlights as well. That's also another plug as well. I'm full of shameless plugs here tonight, and maybe I should plug myself into the wall and with a damn plug as well, perhaps. Then, as we're just on board there with Nunda now. Yeah, of course. I need to watch the highlight videos back because I can't remember what happened at all in on the gold there. Brandon's left the session again now. That's not good at all, is it? Nunda coming out of the final corner, and he goes into 11th fast at the moment. He is, remember, 5th in the World Championship at the moment. Lovely stuff indeed then. Decent velocity, saying decent lap there of 24.6 in these conditions. So he is fairly happy at that, and I've got to say, I'll be fairly happy with that. I'll be fairly happy if I get him within 4 seconds of that. That's a brilliant time there from velocity. Here comes RDW. He hasn't set a time yet. So we've already lost Bradfield already. Brandon is staring into the abyss at the moment. Now he needs to get himself back in the session and get himself a time on the board, doesn't he? Here comes RDW coming down the Wellington Straight as well. The beautiful car 69 as Darren is trolling already on the O'Carver section. As he has said that velocity, that's a bit too slow there. Albeit velocity is almost half a second in front of his championship rival, his nearest championship rival, Energetics. I think they need to be the man on form now. If you take all things into consideration over the past 4 or 5 races, has to be Newman though, doesn't he? He's been fantastic, hasn't he? He's had 3 race wins in the last 4 bronze races, hasn't he? So Newman, I gotta say, is definitely the man on fire in Vettel at the moment, and I think the velocity might have to keep an eye on him. Artie Wee's back in there, felt like it was stepping right out of place there, and I thought he was going to have a huge hit. So we had a big smash there with Milan, didn't we, on Sunday? Of course, when he was going for pole position, he got pole position in the end there, didn't he? But he unfortunately wasn't on the track. He was in the tyre bar at the exit of Chapel, going into Stowe corner as well before accelerating away. Artie Wee is heading, as you can see, a bit of a crest there, isn't he, before he breaks down into turn 16 as well. Then as you can see, a bit of correction there on the wheel. Then as he's hacksawing away, then he looks like a lumberjack. Artie Wee does, as he comes over the line. He is 16 fast at the moment. That is not safe though. He's going to have to go out again then. Stereogram is 3800 a second down in the first intermediate split time, and really compromised his exit there. He's got his teammate behind him at the moment. Brandon is 20th and Bradfield is 19th. Bradfield is out. He's done and dusted. There's nothing he can do about that, unfortunately. Brandon can then, if he can get the interweb up and running. Ayrton in 17th, Artie Wee in 16th, and Gunnar is perilously close there. Well, I say perilously close. He's 3/10 of a second up on Artie Wee, who is behind him as well then. As Emerson saying, best of luck, Ayrton. I hope you're not cursed around here like me. I think unfortunately Emerson's three tries. Unfortunately, no points. Unfortunately for Emerson, but at least he completed a couple of laps there on Sunday, which is more than he's done the last 2 seasons. But unfortunately, Emerson there, another DNF to his season there. He's leading the championship, but I think in terms of previous seasons for Emerson, it's not as clear cut as what it used to be, is it? Because remember that Emerson was very good at getting the car to the end, isn't it? Unfortunately, this season he's had the most DNFs in his whole career in a single season, hasn't he? Stereogram at the moment there is 18 faster. He only gained by 300 to a second, but that's still improvement anyway with just 2 minutes to go in this session. Artie Wee is invalidated and is going to have another bite of the cherry, isn't he? We have got Roscoe's out on a lap at the moment as well. We have got Darren saying turns out Darren is cursed here as well. Of course, Darren. Let's just say that there was a lot of banging wheels, wasn't there, towards the end of last race, which I got to say I quite enjoyed there. But yes, it probably might have been a bit overzealous for some drivers out there. So I think that unfortunately they might be in the naughty book come silver on Monday. But of course, it's all being investigated as per the norm by the stewards, isn't it? Yeah, I feel that some of them might be in a bit of trouble there. So we're just watching Roscoe now as he is currently on an outlap at the moment. Stereogram looks like he's on an inlap. So at the moment there's not a lot happening out there, albeit how dare I ignore Sean Hammers, the returning Sean Hammers, and great stuff to see him back in the car, isn't it? And he's back in action as well. Sean Hammers is said, as he is now coming now. He hasn't raced since Bahrain back in round 2 then, so Sean Hammers but he's looking on fine. Vettel here tonight, isn't he? He is up in the 4th fast at the moment. Lovely stuff indeed there for Hammers, and he's hammered up in the 4th position. Lovely. As you've got Sarah Brown coming in the pits. Ayrton is compared out the pits as well. Roscoe is also out on circuit. Brady thought this is the worst track, so this is a bit of a pleasant surprise there from Brady Sort. Then of course he's right up in the 5th position moment. Red Bull's retired from the session there. I think she sat in the pits. She indeed is sat in the pits there. There's Roscoe there. Oh, goodness me, they're attacking turn 3 there with great velocity as well, isn't it? Goodness gracious me, there. Good stuff indeed there for Roscoe. He accelerates out then, out of the loop there, and into a turn, and on the Wellington Straight, I should say as well. As I've had a lot of squash, so to make sure I'm not dehydrated tonight then. Nunda saying that was a scary crash there. It really was indeed there. Unfortunately, Nunda, we got it on camera, we got it on the stream as well, but goodness me, it's a shame you're on the Williams really, Nunda, because if I was at the Williams I would have had to change my overalls there, of course, being white and all that. So as Roscoe is now coming down into Cop's corner as well then, not even a hint of a lift. You see that the speedometer there does dull the power slightly, doesn't it, of course, with the turn in, but not a hint of a lift there from Roscoe. Fantastic the downforce on these cars. It's absolutely splendid, isn't it? Coming out of Chapel as well. DRS right on the money at the exit. 2 DRS zones around here as in the last 2 days there. But of course, if any of you are just here to watch the bronze because you're bronze fans, then of course I love you all, and well, I love you having you here, of course, and I do love you all as well. Of course, I'm very emotional tonight. Is it Valentine's Day? No, not quite, but every day will be Valentine's Day because I'm a lover, not a fighter. Roscoe coming around the final turn then, and he is gone up into 8 fast amount. Lovely stuff indeed there for Roscoe. Gooner is on an outlaw mode. Ayrton is coming down the Wellington Straight as well. Yeah, going back to Nunda's crash there, that was a scary old incident as well. He went, he was spinning at quite high velocity, wasn't he? So velocity is also, that's the word of the day at the moment, isn't it? Velocity. He's fast at the moment. It's also the word I've used a couple of times as well. Ayrton there is on the back straight as well. Curly Red is also retired from the session as well. Most of the top 10 are feeling secure as well. Well, most of the top 13 are as well. By looks, says Ayrton's gone wide, unfortunately, and that might be the end of Ayrton's qualifying. Unfortunately, I think it is as the timer has ticked down. Ayrton down in 17th position. His qualifying performances haven't really been up to par as of late, have they? Compared to what he was doing earlier on the season. That's a bit unfortunate there for Ayrton. He's 6/10 of second up as well, which would have actually got well, he would have got him into the 26s then, and he would have had to find another couple of tenths, I feel, but well, he's still going on then, so I'm wondering then if my time is wrong, which they probably are, aren't they? So Darren has said that he went to the men's room and he missed it. I gotta say, it wasn't a crash as such. Nunda there luckily didn't hit anything, but goodness me, there is a high velocity spin there coming out of, I think it was Beckett's, wasn't it? It was a similar place to where Fiat had a crash there, but of course, Nunda with a bit more skill by the sounds of it, by the looks of it, and of course kept out the wall there. Then at Fiat, and of course Fiat was more unlucky really because he had a tyre failure, didn't he? So just watching Ayrton now cruising back to the pits, and that is the end of qualifying one, as it looks like then that we have lost Ardy Wee, who's in 16th, Ayrton 17th, Stereogram in 18th position. Bradfield out of the qualifying session very early on there. We've lost him about 10 minutes ago. He had a big smash at Cops there, unfortunately, and Brandon there who left the session there, he hasn't come back in, I don't think so. He is going to be 20th on the grid, unfortunately, then for Brandon as well then. So just watching Ayrton now coming back into the garage as well. You know, I think Ayrton might be a bit disappointed with that, really, won't he? He started off the season very well in both qualifying and race trim, hasn't he? But last couple of qualifying performances, he's been a bit down in the doldrums, hasn't he, so to speak? But his race form hasn't been too bad at all for Ayrton, has it? So, and he's only had one DNF this season anyway, which was back in Azerbaijan. So he has scored points in the last 2 races, hasn't he? In France, in Austria. So hopefully for him and the rest of the drivers, actually they can all score points, but of course only 10 of them can't they? As we just got Ayrton now coming across the line as well. And Nunda saying, I've got 2 4th place finishes in a row, hoping to make it 3 or even a podium. And of course, we've mentioned Nunda's incredible form as of late, hasn't he? I think this season Nunda's been fantastic. His best position has been 4th this season as well, hasn't it? Of course, he had a 5th in Australia as well. He's been really good. He's only been out of the points on 3 occasions when he's raced this season. It's been an absolutely incredible return now from Nunda. He's been one of the surprise packages of the season, along with Ayrton, hasn't he? Really good stuff indeed from both those drivers. And we're just watching Ayrton there coming out of the Wellington Straight as well, as I think that this is the end of qualifying one then as well. So as Pilder saying, about time that Rambo gets some good luck there. Yeah, she probably could have and should have won the Grand Prix in Holland, and of course she's had a couple of decent things as well. Remember last time out in Austria, she only finished 6th, but of course she was having tyres that was going off. I think she damaged her front wing actually, didn't she? Come out the pits there, and there's me accusing sort of driving into Red Bull. How wrong of me indeed then. Yeah, so unfortunately Red Bull damaged the front wing coming out of the pits there. But at least he didn't do a Gerhard Berger back in 1993, I think it was. I think it was Estoril, was it, where he came storming out the pits in his Ferrari and just went straight into the barrier there. So and we all know about the story of David Coulthard crashing in Australia as well, which we don't like to talk about because I'm a big old Coulthard fan. We've got France saying, after the debacle at Austria, I hope for a top 5, but nobody knows. Yes, of course. Hopefully get some good points as well, Fran. Of course, as I've already mentioned, Fran has been on good form as well since Monaco's really turned the season around, hasn't he? France had DNF in Austria, of course. It all went slightly wrong for him, but yes, of course, but he has shown the pace, hasn't he, in Austria as well. Of course, Austria is a very difficult pit in there, isn't it? So and this pit in is not too bad there. It's just a very long pit lane, isn't it? Not the longest though. I like to share this fact there because the longest pit lane in terms of distance is actually the Brazilian Grand Prix, isn't it? And I've already mentioned about Brazil. Apparently, Rio might be taking over from hosting the Brazilian Grand Prix in Interlagos there, which I got to say I'll be absolutely devastated by, really. So I hope that's not the case then. Nuno saying Red Bull crash coming out of the pits. Sounds like a Grosjean in 2019. I don't think it was as bad a Grosjean, I got to say, which I must say that it was probably not one of Grosjean's finest moments. I remember back in 2012 where Grosjean did show flashes of brilliance, didn't he? 2012 and 2013, Roman Grosjean did have some very good results, didn't he? I think that one of the highlights of his career was definitely where I think it wasn't it the 2013 Japanese Grand Prix where he was leading for majority of the way, wasn't he? But he was against the two Red Bulls, and I think that's really what caught him out, really, because the Red Bulls split their strategy, didn't they? I remember Mark Webber not being too happy about it either, did they? There we go then. So yeah, Grosjean is recently has become a bit of a laughing stock, but I feel that Grosjean has in the past shown incredible pace, hasn't he? And of course in the beginning of the Haas career as well, he scored two very good positions, two very good starts there, didn't he? In Australia, I think he finished 5th or 6th, didn't he? And again in Bahrain as well, while at the points as well. So yeah, as much as Grosjean might be ending his career at the end of this season, as by the sounds of it, it might be more likely Kevin Magnussen in the seat alongside one of the junior Ferrari drivers. Whether that's a sportsman, whether that's Callum Ilott, who knows? But I got to say, I do hope it is one of the newer guns coming into Formula 1, and of course Mick Schumacher is being heavily linked to the Alfa Romeo drive alongside Kimi Räikkönen now as well. And Velocity's off! He's off! Is he in the wall? He is in the wall! And he's damaged I'm not sure he's damaged the car, but luckily he is only a glance and blow. And Velocity there, goodness me, and he's been looking good in qualifying 1, but that is not going to plan at all, is it, for the championship leader? As goodness gracious me there, as he is coming back out now. And yeah, Velocity there, that might have been a surprise for him as well. The back end just went around for the championship leader, and as we've already mentioned, he's got a 42-point lead as it stands, as we are at the halfway mark there or thereabouts. So we've got a lot more racing to go. So so I don't think anyone can rest on the laurels. And Velocity, as we've already mentioned before, I think he's doing a very perfect approach to his championship. Championship campaign, as well as we're now just watching Camera Racer going through Cop's Corner as well. Then, as yeah, I gotta say, then it's very. He's of course he's doing a very good job, I think, Velocity, of how he's approaching the races, isn't he? Where he's just taking them one at a time, isn't he? But yeah, that was a scary old incident there for Velocity, and goodness me, there he like Newton also had to be changing his overalls after that one. Coming down into Stowe now, then, as he flicks it through there, Camera Racer does that, and accelerates out, and he's going to the first man to set a time. He's on the soft tyres at the moment as well, then, as just now flying into 17 and 18 as well. And as we got Gunnar saying, at this stage, I'm just hoping to finish the race. And his teammate Camera Racer comes across the line. It's done a 25.8 so far. Good 17. Then we got the racing point there of Mazu, who's on the medium tyres, 2/10 of a second away at the moment. Then Velocity is carrying on then, so he's shaking off that scare, and he'll be back on it as well. Then Rembo then is just starting her lap then, so we leave Rembo to it next. We should be watching the other Haas, and there he is. It's Steve then. Becker, talking of Rembo, Becker Rebecca said, Nuna, no need for that. I didn't crash in the pits, haha. So, yeah, I think it was just a glancing blow, wasn't it? But he has crashed everywhere else, mind you, though. But, of course, we've also mentioned that Rainbow's had a very difficult... so I've been very unlucky. A lot of people have been very unlucky, haven't they, in bronze recently? When you just look back at some of their some of the incidents there. But, yeah, hopefully everyone has good luck here tonight. Yeah, so fingers crossed for everyone. Hopefully there's no untoward shenanigans. We're just watching Darren saying just a matter of time before Velocity's Esports spin there. So now we got Steve going into third fastest as well. Because indeed, Fran is just going to fourth fastest in the Mercedes then. He is the only Mercedes left in this qualifying at the road. And we got the Ferrari coming through as well. Energetics is in the pits and Fran. Oh no! And he has done exactly the same, I think, as Velocity. The only problem is I think that he has gone into the barrier. He has gone into the barrier, yeah, so he must have gone head on and ripped off one of those tyres. And that is a blow there for Fran, so he is out of qualifying. He is out of qualifying as well. And that is a blow, isn't it, for... Rembo's invalidated autonomy. That's not good. So that's a big shame, isn't it? Velocity, who was... very lucky to get out of there, but unfortunately Fran's not lucky, and that's both Mercedes out of qualifying. And before we've even got into the meat of qualifying too here, goodness me, as we got Velocity now in the 25s still. Very good pace there from Velocity, isn't it? Goodness me there. And I gotta say, he's really pulling a rabbit out of the hat there. See some of these times at the moment. He's looking very strong, isn't he? Here comes last season's race winner. It's Forza, and of course he got his first podium of the season as well, didn't he? Here he is, and flying through Magnus and Beckers as well. Lovely over the shoulder shot here from the Ferrari as well. Beautifully done indeed then. As yes, he's now coming down the back straight as well then. And we're on board then with the Ferrari driver then. Let's see what he does as he now comes into Stowe now. DRS is wide open then. He flings it in there. Cracking stuff indeed there. Just a minute break in there from the Ferrari driver in car 19 as he comes over that little crest as well then. Every time I say crest, I figured Colin McRae for some reason. Of course, that was the first time I ever heard that word. Forza cuts across the line. He is fifth fast at the moment in the Ferrari. Lovely stuff indeed then. Oh, as Renbo has had an adventure somewhere, she is going to have to come back to the pits, I think. Ross goes out on circuit as well. Here comes Gunnar, who will be happy just to finish the race. He said in his words, but I'm wondering if Gunnar is sandbagging and has a hidden talent for this circuit, and we'll find out as well. Fran is saying, what a silly mistake there. Yeah, that was a bit, he'll be a bit disappointed by that then, but as we've already seen, don't worry about that, Fran, because the points get handed out in the race as well. I've already seen the championship leader, Velocity, make the same mistake as well. Both Williams at the moment are leading the line at the moment. Good stuff indeed there from the formerly owned Frank Williams' team as well. Of course, it was an end of an era a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? As Williams is no longer owned by the family of the Williams, isn't it? Which is such a shame, isn't it? It's an end of an era, and it's really weird not seeing a Williams team principal in the Williams garage there. Roscoe coming over the line, then he goes into fourth fastest. Roscoe is looking strong at the moment there. Gunnar is coming down the hanger straight as well in the Red Bull. His teammate is third fast moment, but his teammate is the only man I think has gone out on the soft tyres at the moment, or it's completed a lap on the soft tyres then, and he's kind of coming up to the crest here as well then. We've got 3 more corners to go then. Of course, the traditional green helmet from Gunnar there, of course, green and white helmet. He's had the same helmet I think since his debut in bronze there, and maybe since his debut in ALR. It's been very similar, or almost exactly the same, and Gunnar is very much an old school racer, and that's what we love about him. We love Gunnar's helmet, don't we? As Newman now coming up into the final part of the course as well then, as you can see then. So let's see what Newman can do then. I don't think Newman's had a pole position yet, has he? Let me see if that is correct there. That is indeed that. Both McLarens don't think about pole position at all this season, but they have got the most wins as a constructor. They've had 5 so far this season, haven't they? Maybe qualifying is not the best of days for them, but it doesn't really matter, does it really? What does matter is about getting your rate, getting points, and that only happens in the race as well. Watching Mike as well, and of course I wondered the McLaren team have patched up. I think they have patched up as I think we said a couple of comments, didn't we, in the highlights videos when they were released I think on the old stream back, wasn't it? So we did see some McLaren guys just comment about it. So they probably as a Velocity has done a 25-1 there. He has done 4 laps on those medium tyres, Velocity has, and remember you have to start the Grand Prix if it's dry, of course. You have to start the Grand Prix on the tyres which you set your fast time as well. So so Velocity has done 4 laps, and that might hurt him in the race as well. Mike has gone too wide there and has invalidated his time. He's going to have to go around again then. Here is, I've just clipped my neck there. Here's Energetics going down the Wellington Straight as well. Energetics is the closest championship rival to Velocity at the moment. He's done a 26 at the moment. We're on board there with the man who was runner-up last season in bronze there. This season at the moment he looks like he's runner-up at this stage as well. But let's see if he can rectify that with just out over half distance of the World Championship here in bronze there. It is not a sprint like it was last season. This is a marathon. As look at that then as well. Just as well. That was inch perfect there from Energetics. Fantastic. He was millimeters away from invalidating us up, and that is the talent of all these drivers. Is brilliant, isn't it? As lovely stuff indeed. Over the shoulder shot as well, and DRS there, and he is hugging the inside there. Right, it's the outside going into Stowe. Interesting racing line there from Energetics. Other drivers seem to drift out of that corner, don't they, and then take a diagonal run down into Stowe. Red Bull of Gunnar getting out the way then. Energetics then is now just 3 corners away from home then. He is 12 for the moment then, with 5 minutes to go in this session then. Energetics there, he would like to get the job done quite early. Red Bull's retired. Red Bull's retired from the session. She is out. She is out. Oh my goodness me. I think Ericsson crashed there in 2019, and oh dear. So we've had Fran on the outside, Rembo on the inside. We've also had a Velocity as well. Oh goodness me. And Sean Hammers goes 9th fastest then in the Alpha Tower, but Rembo is out of qualifying as well. We've lost 2 cars already in this session. Goodness gracious me then. And well, it's action-packed all the way from the start of this session, isn't it? Goodness me, we've had incidents galore so far. Oh my goodness me, it's a Camera Racer is back out on circuit there. He is on the soft tires once again, Camera Racer. So he's really not pulling any punches at all, is he, Camera Racer? He is coming out. He wants to go on the soft tires, doesn't he? Well, he is not at the moment there. He's not got DRS then. Has he got a DRS failure? Or has he just improved his time? He's actually just improved his time, hasn't he? So I really need to take more notice of what's going on then. Energetics then is currently fastest out there at the moment. Here comes Ford to just start as well. Just watching Forza at the moment, and as he is just starting his lap now. Then let's go on board with the Ferrari driver. I think he's the only man on a hot lap. So now he comes across the line as well. And the man who won last season here. So he flicks it into turn 1. Newman has retired from the session. He is in the pit. So as I got to say, lovely shot here. Of course, this shot is synonymous with this part of the circuit here in Silverstone, isn't it? And look at this side. We're basically just above the rear suspension of the Ferrari. And you're seeing the side in all its glory as well. That is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? And look at the shape of the Ferrari. It was beautiful, isn't it? Goodness me, there. I felt a bit personal looking at the Ferrari from that angle. Fantastic, isn't it? 5,800 a second up in the first intermediate split time there for Forza. He comes out of left field as well before accelerates in the way then, going over the old start grid hatches as well then, and he is now coming up into Copse Corner as well. Let's go on board there with Forza. Fantastic, isn't it? And I've got to say, not taking as carrying as much speed as what they were last night through there. I'm sure they were hitting the 190 mile an hour mark perhaps, but maybe I was just dreaming that. I have been to sleep since then, so a lot can happen. Oh, look at this then, as he goes slightly on the dirt there. Of course, that is a traditional racing line around here, isn't it? Of course, they extended that curb, didn't they? In between the 2 races, in between the British Grand Prix and the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, didn't they? In the British Grand Prix, they was all running wide around there, because it's kind of the racing line, really, isn't it? So Forza is just a couple of corners from home. Then we've also got Curly Red, who's back out on that circuit as well. He's changed his gamer tag now, so good 17 then. He's now SOP. Now as Forza comes across the line, he has gone 6th fast moment. Here comes Curly Red then, out of the final turn as well, and Curly Red jumps up to second there. Brilliant time now from Curly Red, and he is really he's really put a lot of drivers on tenterhooks with that one, hasn't he, with 2 minutes to go in this session. We're going to see some tears. We normally see tears anyway in qualifying, as Camera Racer has retired. Then we've got Gunnar coming out on circuit as well right now then. So we've lost Fran, who's in 12th position. That's the highest he's going to start. Rembo down in 14th. That's the highest she's going to start after both hitting the arm time code barrier. Velocity is out already, is out of this qualifying session, along with Camaro and Newman already, guys. Of course, I mentioned that I said that completely wrong there. Anyone who's Velocity fans out there, I apologise. He is he's in the session still, but he's out, if that makes sense. He's retired from the session, but he is in the pits there, so he is comfortable in his position. So he's retired early on to get himself prepped and ready to go then for his final attempt then of qualifying, which is qualifying 3 and getting on to pole position then. And Velocity has only been on pole position once for this season. That was back in Austria then. Here comes Mike, as he has had 2 race wins this season. He won the first race this season in Australia, and then he won the first ever Dutch Grand Prix in ALR bronze, wasn't it? And it was a brilliant performance as well from Mike. Absolutely fantastic. Rembo is blaming Nunda for the incident by the looks of it. As we've also got Velocity saying another decent one with wing damage and P2 then. So Velocity is looking very strong at the moment. Good stuff indeed there. Darren is saying that's medium tire lap by Energetics, or was it on soft? Oh goodness me! And Mike is off the circuit. Can he recover in time to get? Looks like he hasn't got enough time for another run. By the looks of it, with fuel out as well. But he has spun it there. Oh dear, the track doesn't seem to be giving off much grip at this stage of the proceedings, does it? He's got half a minute as needs to come back onto a circuit. There's a lot of spinach going on here, and I don't mean the stuff that Popeye eats. Guna there just started this lap as well. We got Steve out on circuit as well. Mars is at 8/10 of a second up in the second intermediate split time. Keep an eye to see what Mike can do then. The time is ticking down now. We've got less than 10 seconds to go. No, we've got less than 5 seconds to go. Mars coming out of the final corner. Mars goes at third fastest, both racing points right in the thick of things. Good stuff indeed then. Steve is 3/10 of a second up as well, as Mike is continuing on with his lap now. And let's see what he can do there as well. So Mike is finished and he's down in 15th. It's a horror show for the McLaren driver, a horror show indeed then. As Nunez defended himself. Don't blame him. It's the track is weird there. It's a very odd track at the moment, isn't it? We're getting a lot of spins going on, haven't we, in this opening 2 qualifying sessions there. Steve is in 6th position as well. This is shaping up to be a fantastic race, isn't it? Really good stuff indeed there. As so Steve is in 6th position. Roscoe's out on circuit as well. Gunnar is 8/10 of a second up in the second split time. Where is that putting him? That is putting him on the fringes. And Sean Hammers is out of qualifying then at the moment. Roscoe and Gunnar are battling for honours there. Forza is going to be sweating a bit as well to see what Gunnar can do as he comes into the final 3 turns now then, the Red Bull driver. Let's see what he can do then. Is he keeping it nice and tidy? He is indeed. It is very calm on the wheel there for Gunnar. He is 12th fastest. Gunnar as he's on the 6th row of the grid, and that is still a good time nonetheless. But Gunnar's out qualifying as well. Roscoe is carrying on his knee at the moment. Then it's so I'm just going to answer. I'm just going to answer Darren's question there. As Energetics retired from the session there. Energetics was on the medium compound tyre. So, yes, so that was a very good time indeed then. Is that Roscoe is improved to 7 fastest as well. And just behind Steve in 6th position. Good stuff indeed there for those guys. As that is the end of qualifying too then. And I've got to say there's some big shakers that are out of this qualifying 2 session. And one of them is unfortunately Mike there as well. He had a huge moment, didn't he, going into Maggots there, and unfortunately he is out of qualifying. That is it that's it there for Mike. Unfortunately, there's Gunnar saying 12th is far better than expected there, because Gunnar potentially could have got some gone to the top 10 as well. But good performance there from Gunnar, and a very strong qualifying session as well. So he's in 12th position. He's right in the thick of things there. I will not mention about the carbon fibre zone there for Gunnar, but hopefully he can avoid all any shenanigans, or if there are shenanigans, all shenanigans, and he can get some points on the board there for Gunnar as well. But Gunnar out of qualifying. Sean Hammer's out of qualifying as well. We've lost Fran Rentbo and also Mike as well. Fran and Rentbo unfortunately have damaged their cars there. No spare cars in Formula 1 these days, is that of course because of cost cutting. If it was 2002 and before, they would have just ran back to the pits and got into the T cars. Unfortunately, that's not the case these days, is it? So when you're crashed, you're done, which is a bit of a brutal, which is very brutal, isn't it? Especially back in the days where, for example, I think Hill and Deniz actually shared a car, didn't they, in Australia in '97 qualifying. Of course, that is not, you're not allowed to do that these days either, and I don't think you've got enough time to do that anyway in these days. Remember, qualifying was an hour-long session, wasn't it? And a lot of things didn't really happen until the second half an hour anyway, so you boys are just cut it down to half an hour sessions really, but there you go. Gunnar also saying his teammate Camaro is looking good there. As we're just watching Mike there as he is now coming back into the pits as well. Disappointment from Mike, who is fourth in the championship at the moment now. But unfortunately, we're not going to see any. Mike's not taking any further part there in this qualifying session as well. Out of qualifying then is Mike there. No time set for the McLaren driver. Rembo crashing on the exit of turn 1. Fran crashing on the inside of turn 1 there. Both of them out of qualifying there. Gunnar in 12th position. Fantastic performance from Gunnar. And Sean Hammer's making a return tonight with the AlphaTauri just outside of top 10, but can start on whatever tyres he wants to. Medium tyres for Forza, Nunda, Newman and Velocity. Everyone else on the soft tyre as well. And Energetics, that was a great time on the medium tyres there. And I'm not sure if Velocity, last time we checked Velocity, he did have 4 laps on those medium tyres then. I wonder if he bolted on a new set as well. But yeah, Echo there, just echoing the statement there from Gunnar. Yeah, great time from Camera Racer, right in the thick of things as well. Going into a qualifier. Going into qualifying 3. Mike saying that I've had 0 practice. This race was chalked before the day started. Unfortunately from Mike there. Yeah, practice is quite essential in league racing these days, isn't it? I gotta say, I never used to do any practice, and I used to be well off the pace there. But I was well off the pace anyway, but that was just my excuse there. So I'm sticking with that there. But yeah, I said when I come online, I'm always like looking in there. So a load of people in time trials and just tweaking their setup, don't they? They do a lot of work going into this race. Well, this is just the live presentation, is that you do not get to see the hard graft and behind the scenes, do you? For example, the likes of Mike there, just tweaking the setups, don't they? Just making sure that they are in the groove as well. And of course, just an hour before the race, a lot of them come on there, just bolt on the setup there and just get into a rhythm, don't they? For this race as well, then, don't they? And of course, practice does definitely make perfect, doesn't it? As we're now then, we've got a lot of cars coming out on track as well. Good stuff indeed there. As Darren saying, just ease yourself into Mike. You can pick up spots then, and just ease into it. Yeah, I gotta say there, and if the race is anything to go by on Sunday, anything can happen, can it? Of course, safety. We had 2 safety cars, didn't we, on Sunday? It was an incredible race, wasn't it? It's Nunda there is really hacksawing away there. Goodness me there. I gotta say, proper giving the Williams a good old run through, isn't it? As we're just watching Velocity as well. There was a bit of needle, wasn't there, between the 2 Williams in the comments last time, wasn't it? But we got Velocity then, who is just he's leading the charge, isn't he, at the moment then? But yeah, once again, both Williamses are looking strong, and it's a good old ding-dong battle, isn't it, between the 2 most famous British car constructors of Formula 1. It is the Williams and it is the McLaren, isn't it? And brilliant stuff indeed, isn't it? Great to see it. It's great to see both those constructors going head-to-head once again there. So Velocity at the moment then is just priming up the car. He's getting himself ready to go then. You can see he's doing a lot of it. These are very fast computer-programmed cars these days, isn't it? Perhaps a bit too complex now these days. Bring me back the old very thin steering wheels with just 2 buttons on there, and I'm sure one's for drink and one's for radio. That would do me just nicely. Velocity there is coming out of the turn at 17 now, and he's about to start that. Then he had pole position last time out there. He's in good form at the moment as he flies into turn 1 as well. Look at that, fantastic stuff. And this time he is not spun around backwards, as it's a good stuff indeed then. And he's gone a bit deep there, hasn't he, into turn 3, but good stuff coming out of the loop. And look at those brake discs glowing, fantastic. As Darren is saying, I love to see the Williams up there. We've also got Sean Hammer saying it feels good to be back there. And Sean Hammers there is on pole position in terms of selecting whatever tires he wants. He's on pole position for the second half of the grid. Lovely stuff indeed then. So just watching the Velocity there coming out of left field as well before accelerating away now and coming up into Copse Corner as well. Look at the yaw on that car, goodness me. Remember, Red Bull really was the team to first stick the rear wing, the rear end up in there, wasn't it? Gotta say, it feels like that. It feels like the song of what's it, Madagascar, isn't it? I like to move it kind of thing. No, I'm thinking of the wrong one, isn't it? Maybe another song I'm thinking of. But yeah, it's of course the rear end is stuck up in the air, isn't it? Now, of course, there's a lot of yaw on these Formula 1 cars these days, isn't it? And of course, it gives a lot more downforce, isn't it? The higher up you can get that car, then and Red Bull were experts at, especially around the 2015-16 era, wasn't it? It was extreme, wasn't it? Incredible stuff indeed. Then, as we're just now coming, Velocity is coming over the line as well. He's on pole position by 24.433. That's a cracking time to start us off. Brilliant. Somebody Nunez second now. He missed him, but Nunez second then. With Energetics is second then by 3/10 of a second. Good stuff indeed there for Energetics. Lovely as Steve there is coming now out of turn 17, now into 18. He is fourth fastest as it stands about. Good stuff indeed there. Curly Red there out of the final turn. So Curly is third fastest. Good stuff indeed there. Forza is coming down the back straight. We've got Maz there, who's looking on fine. Vettel hasn't since Azerbaijan has really got himself feet under the table, hasn't he? He's now in fourth fastest. Good stuff indeed there from Mars there as well. Forza then, of course, the man who was really in the thick of things last season, wasn't he? Can he get a podium? He says that he'd be happy to get there, but at the moment he's only sixth fast at the moment, slightly behind at the moment. There's a camera racer coming back into the pits as well then. As Sean Hammer's looking for pole position there. Perhaps then with those emoji I said. We've also got Hammer saying thanks to Darren there, as yes, as Darren is being very polite in the old comment section, as he always is, isn't he? As lovely stuff indeed. And of course Darren, a frequent visitor, a frequent viewer of the stream now, and we're happy to have him there, and he might be ALR's top fan, or is it Gooner? Of course that is going to be the question, which might be answered by the end of this one as well. So maybe that might be an award for the end of the season. Who's going to be our top fan then, perhaps? Maybe I've just thrown that idea out there to everyone. We're just watching Roscoe as well, and a lovely over the shoulder shot from the Renault driver as he's coming down the back straight as well. He's had 2 races in bronze here. He has scored 4 points so far. France, he was just trying to get his eye in, and then in Australia he really got into the groove, hasn't he? So let's see if we can get 2 points finished in a succession then as well. As we've also got Formula Gio there, another man who's quite oh no, Velocity Roscoe is invalidated. I got Velocity on the brain for some reason, but Roscoe's invalidated this time, and he's invalidated this next time as well, so he is going to have to go around again, or he's going to have to the pits and change those tyres as well. As oh dear, and not very good. So that's not good at all there for Roscoe, is it? So we was just complimenting him as well. Here comes Newman, who's never done pole position in a bronze ALR race before. Is he going to be able to break that duck here tonight as well? Of course, that's a saying now, and I don't expect anyone to go out and break any ducks. As we're on board now then with Newman, as he is just on an outlap at the moment. Roscoe, I think, has invalidated this lap then, so he's going to have to come back in the pits. Camera race who looks like he's abandoning his first lap. He's back out straight away, and he's gone for a new set of soft tyres as well. Let's see what he can do then. And he's come out very early, hasn't he? As you can see, it was very dull at the beginning of qualifying. It's a alright day now, isn't it? It's still a bit overcast overhead, but much more light than what it was then. So now coming through the final part of the lap then. We're about to start lap then with Newman then. And here we go then as he flies into turn 1 then. The man who's won 3 races of the last 4 Grand Prix. He's been fantastic, hasn't he? He's got the most rain. We've got the most race victories in all of the field so far, hasn't he? In terms of the current field here tonight, there with 3 race wins there, 2 for Mike, 2 for Velocity, and 2 for Energetics as well. Then we've got 4 former Grand Prix winners in this field at the moment now, and it is the strongest bronze field in history of ALR bronze so far, albeit in its short career. But that's still fantastic to see, isn't it? In terms of pole positions in the field so far, we got 4 from Energetics this season, and we got 1 for Velocity and 1 for Nunda as well there. So that's in the current field. When of course we did have a couple of pole sitters earlier on the season there. For example, the likes of Total Peas and Favre and Troy have also been on pole position, and Liam has also been on pole position as well then. But those guys are not in the field anymore. Bronze anyway. As we got Newman there coming down the back straight as well there. As it looks like he's weaving from left to right there. He's really struggling, isn't he, with those tyre warm up there, isn't he? I wonder if Nunda's going to abandon and come back in the pits there. Let's find out now. And of course the pit lane is on the right hand side here, and he is coming back in the pits there. So struck with tyre temperatures by the next Nunda is there. And what do you expect, of course, here at the British Grand Prix? Albeit it's been very toasty over the last couple of days, hasn't it? I've got to say, it's been beautiful. I think we should have been getting out the old barbecues, haven't we? As I certainly don't need any excuse for barbecue, rain or shine. Now I do love a good old burger or 2, or maybe 5. We're just watching camera racer there coming up to Cops Corner as well there. As let's see, as he flies into Cop's corner as well. Brilliant stuff indeed. Then accelerates away. So now just on board as well then. And we're on. And this is fantastic. It really is then. And lovely stuff indeed. And so now coming out of Chapel's one down the back straight as well, and very good. God, I love the conversation in all the in the old comment section as well. Great stuff indeed there. I'm not going to butt in there because I think it's a good old natter, isn't it? We're just watching camera race on the moment. Everyone else is in the pits then, so he's got the track all to himself then. I wonder if he's fueled up to maybe have 2 bites of the cherry, or a camera racer is. And I echo Gunner's statement from earlier on there. He's had a fantastic event so far, and that just underlines his pace there. He is 4 fastest at the moment. Lovely stuff indeed from the Renault driver. Remember, he showed some impressive performance in Australia, didn't he? The first round of the season there is I remember like being absolutely taken back by the speed of this man, but he's had bad luck there, hasn't he? And he's sunk back into the midfield as of late then, but I think that this is the camera racer vote there. Good stuff indeed then, as he is just on an in lap at the moment. Good stuff indeed then. As just watching that as well as Formula Gio he didn't as Formula Gio there making a very funny joke there, but as we're just watching a camera racer there as he is just touring back to the pits as well. We're keeping an eye on camera racer because potentially he might go for another bite of cherry. He is the fastest man in terms of he's the quickest man in terms of the 25 set. Everyone else below him there is in the mid 24. It's so close. Look at that, 25-1, 25-1, 25-1, 25-1 between Camaro, Maz, Nunda and Forza. It is a whisker, isn't it? If you can find less than a tenth of a second, you can elevate yourself from the 4th row to the 2nd row. It's incredibly, insanely tight out there, isn't it? So it's camera racer there. He might be on heavy fuel saving mode then. He might be light as a feather. Let's see if he's got enough fuel to go around. He is going around one more time then. Camera racers, we're on board with the with the Red Bull driver. Christian Horner might not be too impressed about that one. Having said that though, he might have to snuggle back up to Cyril Beatball next season, or shall I say in 2021 I should say, or 2022 that's actually to be precise there, as a camera racer there is coming into turn 1 and into turn 2 as well. So everyone is now out on circuit. This is exactly what a top 10 shootout needs to be, doesn't it? All 10 cars out there. It's absolutely fun. All 10 cars out there is fantastic. This is exactly what the final part of qualifying needs to be, albeit camera racer has called it a day. So Maz is going to be the first one then. Let's go on board with Maz. Oh, he's getting out of shape after the final corner already, and we're on board with him now as he comes across the line then, as he flies into turn 1 as well. Lovely stuff indeed then. And out of turn 2, Maz in 5th position, and he is currently defending his 5th position at the moment, and as he accelerates out then and goes into coming out the loop as well. Yellow flags is fluttering on the final part of the lap there. It's just guys just cruising to get their laps to get some space there, and so that no one is interfering. And 400ths of a second there up in the first split. Oh, he's done. Maz is done there. Track limits on this track is brutal at the best of times, and unfortunate for Maz, that was a bit too greedy on the entry there out of Brooklands then. And now here comes we're going to switch to his teammate then of Curly Red, who's coming in 3rd fast at the moment. Good stuff indeed then. Brilliant stuff there from Curly Red. Both racing points are 3rd and 5th at the moment then. Unfortunately then, I don't think though that Maz will stay there. Having said that, it does the Pirelli tyre on the track evolution. It's a very strange thing, isn't it? Where you think that it's going to get quicker, and sometimes it gets slower, doesn't it? As you can see, and look, Curly Red there is at 9 thousandths of a second down there at the 2nd intermediate split time. Camera racer is out of qualifying then, and as well, I think the check flag has fallen then. I wonder though if I'm out of sync, then Maz might be able to get another lap in then. As we're on board now then, and Maz has finished his lap then. He is in 5th position there, unfortunately. Curly Red is not improved there. He's 2/10 of a second down in the end then, so that's so he is still 3rd fast then, which is still an absolutely incredible achievement. Camera racer and Curly Red are currently 3rd and 4th for the moment. This session is long from done now, because here comes Nunda, the former pole sitter. He was on pole position at the Spanish Grand Prix. He stamps on that brake pedal there, the inside front left there, locking up there. Velocity's out, and Nunda goes 3rd fastest. Velocity is out. It cops there, Bonner looks there, and Nunda is in 3rd. So Velocity there won't be able to defend his pole pole position at the moment, and Steve is improving dramatically as he comes across the line, and he is improved. So he's in the 25.20, but it's improved time and not position there. Roscoe coming out the final turn. He hasn't set a time just yet now. What is his time going to be? It's a 25.2, and he's in 9th position at the moment now. Here comes Newman as well. We've also got Energetics, who's just in front. Energetics invalidated his time, and that might be done. Here comes Newman. He is fifth fastest overall, and Velocity is still in pole position, and Forza is in the pit set. And well, that's your grid then. And Velocity for the second time in a row, and for the second time in his career, is on pole position then for the British Grand Prix. So hats off to Velocity then, and that is Williams' third pole position of the season then. Only one behind Alfa Romeo now, and that is and that they've got 4 there. And 4 all courtesy of this man here, Energetics. Lovely stuff indeed then. Absolutely fantastic stuff, and is a Gio saying Velocity has it now? Yes, indeed he does, doesn't he? As I've read that comment a little too late there, which is standard stuff, really, isn't it? As Nunda saying yes, Sarah, he is very happy with third on the grid there. Fantastic performance once again from Nunda, flying high in the Williams. Becca said, "Let's go, Curly," in a very strong 4th position, wasn't he? As I've looked up there and looked up there a bit late as well. There, so we're now getting onto the race as well. This is going to get very intense indeed, isn't it? Right, that is. We are now going to get into the race itself. Yeah, Curly Red in a fantastic 4th position. Lovely stuff indeed then. We're now getting onto the race then. Right then, as I was just saying, it was a 24-3, but run wide in Cops then slightly. What a shame now for Energetics then. Possibly should have been on pole position. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So is it? Fortunately, it's for Velocity. Unfortunately, it is for Energetics. 3/10 of a second separates the front two. As we now get into the race as well. Good stuff from Curly Red and Nunda as well. A great row too, isn't it? As we now go into the British Grand Prix as well. Then for the round 12, albeit it is round 11 as Farf decided that Farf decided he didn't want to do Vietnam, did he, earlier on the season? So we missed Vietnam there. But yeah, this is, even though this is round 11, technically we are still doing round 12 because I'll get completely, oh goodness me, I'll get completely confused there, and I've also confused myself as well because I got too excited by looking at the sky. That is just basically that's the drastic excitement I have in my life. I just look up and get excited. But of course I am getting excited because look at those dark clouds overhead. I see a bit of blue sky. But I gotta say, there is a lot of gloom overhead, isn't it? I'm wondering where those clouds are rolling in from. Are they coming in there to give these guys some wet weather conditions? Well, at the moment it is dry, and anyone who set a time in Q2 and got into the top 10 must start on those tyres as well. And I'm sure Velocity was on 4-lap medium tyres, but I could be wrong. My graphic is probably wrong because Velocity there might like more worn tyres there as well. But yes, as we already mentioned, Pirelli rubber is a very fascinating art, isn't it? Darren saying 10-3 for me yesterday, but went wide in every corner then. That's my excuse anyway. I thought that I didn't know what. That looks like a fly there in the front of the camera. No, that really kind of got me out of sorts. Right, we got 20 cars on the grid then. Is Brandon back in the session? He's a bit of a ghost by looks. I'm not sure if he is there, so we might have 19 cars there. 26 laps, as like yesterday, as like the day before, and once again, like yesterday as well, we got one man who is flying the flag for the hard tyres. This time it is Mike there in the second McLaren. He's had no practice tonight, has he? So he's on the back foot already, isn't he? With the lack of running, we hear about Formula 1 drivers in practice saying how important it is to get running in practice, and unfortunately Mike is on the back foot because of that. But he is on the hard tyres then, and he's going to go for a gamble there, isn't he? Soft tyres in the top 10 for Curly Red, for Camaro, for Maz, for Steve and Roscoe. Outside the top 10, Gunnar on soft as well. Watch Gunnar fly. Same with RDW as well. He's a quick starter, isn't he? Stereogram on soft tyres, and Brandon, who is not there, on soft tyres as well. Everyone else is on the medium compound tyres. And let's go for the grid, shall we? Velocity, second time in a row, and his second time in his career is on pole position for the Williams. Energetics, who's had 4 pole positions this season alongside Monroe, and the championship rivals are once again side by side. Good stuff indeed then. We have got Nunda in third position there, flying high again in the Williams. He's doing brilliantly, isn't he? Curly Red in fourth position. Newman, who doesn't really need qualifying, does he? Because he's so quick in the race there. But he is in fifth at the moment now, and that completes the top 3 in the World Championship. Camero in 7th position there, with Maz in 8th position there. We got Forza in 9th position. 10th position is Steve. Sorry, 9th position is Steve, and 10th position is Roscoe as well. Sean Hammers, welcome back to the bronze grid there. Let's see what he can do on his return. Gunnar in 12th position. Fran in 13th position there. Of course, unfortunately, he was in the wall. Hopefully, he can avoid that in the race there. Same with Rempo. She was also in the wall as well at the turn one, the turn one corner. She is in 14th position there. Mike in 15th position there. 16th is Artie Wee. 17th position is Ayrton. 18th position is Stereogram. Bradfield in 19th position, and Darren is Brandon in 20th position. But Darren was saying now that I think Brandon has to wait till after the start. Good luck to Bronze. Can't win it in turn one now, and that is the most sensible thing anyone has ever said in this stream so far. That includes me as well. Then, so yes, that is very important. Now, you cannot win the Grand Prix into turn one, but you can lose it, as it is a very important part of any Grand Prix, isn't it? But of course, you do if you damage your car, it might be raced over from then anyway, and you're kind of in the hands of the gods. As you can see, lovely shot here from the aerial cam here of the British of Silverstone. There are the lights out. We got 5. There's a pause, and Brandon is already gone away then. And lovely 17 there from Brandon there as well. So he launched away absolutely splendidly well there, and we are go here in Silverstone. And we are away, and it's a good start there for Velocity. Energetics alongside him. Energetics has already popped through and into the lead then, and that was Curly, who's also, and that's a Williams gone right off as well. Who is that? I think it's Noonda, isn't it? It is Noonda who has gone right off the track there, but he's in 5th finish. There's a 5-second penalty as we got a virtual safety car, because one of the it's Sean Hammers down. There's a bit of Renault debris which is on the circuit as well. Brandon has got away fantastically well. Energetics leads Curly in 2nd. 3rd is Newman. Velocity is down to 4th position. Well, and then there's Noonda went right off the circuit there, didn't he? As just on board then with Velocity. Pole sitter has had an appalling start, and Ayrton's had a 5-second penalty along with RDW. There's a couple of penalties in the back of the field as well. We've got a virtual safety car in the opening couple of laps at the moment, and big movers then off that start. It's free moves for Stereogram and for Roscoe. Fantastic stuff there as we're coming. Oh my goodness me, oh my gracious me then, that's incredible then. But Curly's gone wide then, and look at this, Newman's come through. Newman takes the lead of the British Grand Prix. Fantastic manoeuvre there from Vic Newman. He takes the lead on the British Grand Prix. The second McLaren's in the wall. It cops there, and there's a problem there from Mike there. He's damaged the end plate, and oh dear, this weekend kind of goes from bad to worse there. Newman there stuck on the inside and takes the lead on the British Grand Prix. Camera Racers left. He is down into 13th position as well after that incredible performance there. He's also set a fast on the race somehow, but Newman there, what a manoeuvre there. He leads the British Grand Prix. Brandon has also set a fast lap as we come through to complete lap 1. Look at the gaps there, fantastic, isn't it? As Lidl said, right, the nose to tail, their nose to diffuser. Brilliant stuff indeed. Then lovely shot here from Velocity at the moment. There's his 4 cars that he's trying to make up position at the moment. And this is going to be a cracker of a race, isn't it? As this race has been set up absolutely beautifully. Artie Wee is gone. Artie Wee is out of this race then, and that is a big blow already for Artie Wee then, and he is the first retiree. Sean Hammers and Rembo are also in the pits as well. As we're having a look there, coming down the back straight is Roscoe is having a look there as well, going into Brooklands as well on Mazda. These cars, as Camera Racer is back in the session as well. I didn't even see him leave, to be honest, but perhaps I wasn't paying attention there, which is probably standard stuff, isn't it? As I just watched now, is a yellow flag in 1. Then what is going on? I think it's RDW's car, isn't it? As it looks like he's retired in the pits. That's a bit unfortunate there from RDW then. As now then, so Newman leads in 2nd position is Curly Red. Curly Red is on the soft tires. He's the only man at the top runners at the moment on the soft tires there. So it's someone was very much on the grass there, wasn't he? So can Curly Red make hay whilst the sun is shining, albeit it's completely not shining at the moment, is it? It is very dull out there. They were coming down into Stowe once again. Look at these cars at the moment there. It is so nip and tuck then. Less than a second separates the top 9 so far. Fantastic. Swords there is 2 seconds away from Steve there in 10th finish there. Is so close there. As Roscoe there is just getting past Brandon as well. Lovely shot from the nose cone of Curly Red then, who's really giving some putting the squeeze at the moment on Newman there. Newman there doesn't really need to worry about qualifying, does he? Because in his career he's never qualified on pole position, but my goodness me there. As Darren is saying, Newman is becoming a beast again now. He really is, isn't he? He's fantastic. Newman is there. He's really lighting up the bronze division quite nicely indeed there. Let's see there what energetics and velocity can do there. Of course, them two are quite very much the old guard now in bronze, aren't they? With almost the highest starts between them and the soft tires. Are they going off or is Curly Red there just struggling for pace at this stage of proceedings? Well, energetics there is very much all over his gearbox going into Brooklands, and there's Maz, another member on the soft tires as well. As Guna has now made his way up into 10th position there with Brandon's car, who is not in the race, but it looks as we got a 3-second penalty from Steve. But it looks like as energetics has gone wide there. I don't think Velocity needs any encouragement whatsoever, does he? As we're on board with the championship lead, he's got a 42-point lead as it stands at the moment. Oh my goodness me, that's a Mercedes off. Who is it? It's Fran. He's off the circuit there, coming into the loop, I think. And oh dear, Fran there is coming to pits already on hard tyres. So is Rempo, Sean Hammers, and Mike is now on the medium tyres. And unfortunately, Mike didn't really have much of a choice, so did he? As he started on the hard tyres, he was the only man to start on the hard tyres. On board then with Energetic, he is second in the World Championship. Bradfield has got past Ayrton and moved up into 13th position as well. He's come through the complete lap free of the British Grand Prix at the moment. So Newman is now over. He was in the out of DRS range, but now he is back in it. As Curly Red there is doing a good job. Gurman there, let's go Curly. He is doing a great job, isn't he? Curly is there. He launched off the field there, and he was in the lead, wasn't he? Albeit for a metre or two before Newman just steamed past them, Energetics and Curly Red to take the lead. It was fantastic, wasn't it? Right, DRS has been enabled then, so now we've got a bit of a different ball game now, isn't it, for Curly Red? Curly Red is trying to defend on the inside into Brooklands. Energetics is going on the outside then. He is through on the outside. Fantastic maneuver. But Curly Red is going on the outside into left field. Fantastic maneuver there from Curly Red. He is not giving up, is he? Fantastic maneuver there. Brilliant stuff indeed. Then Curly Red is taking more of a cute angle as well. Bradfield is coming through the field like a hot knife through Burry. He's up to 11th position already. As Energetics there is really closely following Curly Red there as a train is now forming. Look at that then. It's like the conga line, isn't it? As we it's a Newman has got a 3-second penalty. That's a yellow flag. What is going on? It's a McLaren. Newman is out. Newman is out of this race. Then oh goodness me, then Newman is out of the British Grand Prix. Oh my goodness me! It is at the we've had a couple of incidents over the course of this event, and he has gone off at the oh goodness me then. And Newman has gone off there at Beckett's by the looks of it, and he's gone into the wall. Oh my goodness me, this race has taken a huge drastic turn, and we got safety car. One incredible development. Energetics coming in the pits then. Oh my goodness me. Oh no, we got both racing points coming in then. This is going to be a queue. It's going to be a queue. Noonday and both Williamses are staying out then. Oh my goodness me then. And what an absolute shock there, just as we saying about Newman becoming a beast, and he's out of the race then. What a shame indeed there. So Newman, who had a fantastic start, was leading the race then. That just shows how quickly things can change in Formula 1, can it? You've gone from hero to zero in the matter of 5 laps for Newman, as the racing points are now trying to get Reed back into position as well, going onto the hard tyres there for Maz, and he's out of the pits now as well. And so he may have lost a bit of time. Forza there is also out of the pits there. It looks like Forza's out in front of Steve as well, so good stuff indeed there from Forza. We've had it. So this has basically split the strategy right down the middle, hasn't it? Curly coming out of the pits as well. Ayrton, who hasn't come in the pits yet, stick to his strategy. Then Curly in 8th position, Cameron in 9th, Energetics in 10th, and Roscoe 11th, Forza in 12th position. 13th is Steve, Maz in 14th, Rentbo is in 15th position at the moment. Then 16th is France, 17th is Hammers, and Mike in 18th position as well then. As incredible stuff indeed there. Sam doesn't look too impressed there with Racing Point's strategy there, as they were both queuing up, weren't they? So then half the grid came in the pits, half the grid is stayed out, half the grid is on the hard tyres now, isn't they? And then the other half is on the soft or medium tyres and are on their original strategy. Apart from Curly Red there, who is on the medium tyres there, and it looks like that he is not going to go for the the one stop there. Will the medium tyres last from there to the end of the race? I don't think they will, can they? Hard can do 20 laps if managed properly for sure there. We've got 20 laps then, which will be approximately the amount of laps going to the end of this race then. So that is what a lot of drivers have done then. Curly Red is kind of gone against the grain, hasn't he? Because he is on medium tyres. I don't think those medium tyres are going to get to the end then, as we are now then just as we are now then just getting the grid sorted out then with what's his name? Bert Mylander, that's it, just coming back in the pits as well there. So I've got both Williamses out on track then. They've not elected to come in the pits as well. We're going to implore team orders here then. I wonder if Nunda's going to be a bit of a roadblock, but we'll soon find out there. I don't think that Williams would like to do that kind of strategy though, will they? Because I feel that both of them got such good pace here tonight. They don't really want to ruin any each other's races, do they? Because they've been fantastic this event so far. And our man is doing really well, is Gunnar. And goodness me, he is up in the third. Well done to the Irishman there, Gunnar there. This is his closest Grand Prix to a home race, so I think he's doing very well then for his Irish Grand Prix. So good stuff indeed then. And lovely stuff then from Gunnar. Brandon there, who is not really a part of this race. No offence to Brandon, but he's a bit of a ghost at the moment. As Roscoe and Energetics are getting a bit too interested in each other, aren't they? They have to wait till the very end. Camera racer there, I don't think it's in the session at the moment as he seems to he seems to have lagged out and come back in or not, or whatnot. As Sam is saying, Gavin third, Lord give him strength there. Well, I think Gavin Gunnar has done a very good job once again, hasn't he? He's just managed himself, hasn't he? Got himself through the start phase and doing a really good job there. Unfortunately, Darren is saying, do not curse Gunnar there, and I think I should have left Gunnar alone. Oh my goodness me, that is not good at all. It's Velocity. No, then it's Energetics. They've both got the similar first name, which gets me confused. That's my reasoning anyway. But the fact of the matter is, Energetics has got a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags, and I think it might be the ghost car issue that we had in Austria, didn't we? Of course, there was new rules. It was laid out to the drivers, wasn't it, after the fiasco of Austria? Of course, do not overtake the ghost cars, albeit they are. I know that they're ghosts and all that, but really it's against the rules, isn't it? And you can't overtake anyone beyond the safety car because the safety car is that. It's about the safety car. Whether that's what Energetics did or not, I have no earthly idea, but whatever the case is, that is a big blow for Energetics in his quest to win this British Grand Prix and add to his race wins this season. He's won in China and he's won in Monaco. Safety car is in at the end of this lap then, so we'll keep an eye on that 5-second penalty later on, as we're now going to get back to it now then. Let's look at this then. So Velocity is slowing them right down, and look at this, and it's a Brandon's ghost car. I think it's causing all kinds of issues, isn't it? And yes, he is then, as I think they're just overtaking him and they're just going to argue the point later on, which is probably the right thing to do, isn't it? Right, when is Velocity going to go? He is on the hammer now. He's on the gas and away he goes, and he's got a 2-second lead over his teammate already. What a manoeuvre. What a start there. That's a fantastic start there from Velocity there. He is just launched off it. Brilliant. So he's almost going to be up to 3 seconds in the bar of corners. Wow, that's good stuff indeed then. So as we're coming through then to complete a lap 6 then as well. We are back racing here in Silverstone. And not only that, Bradfield is up to Energetics has got another penalty. That's another 5-second penalty, just like Lewis Hamilton. He's got 2 separate 5-second penalties as they come over the crest of the hill as well then. Bradfield up to a fantastic 5th position. Moment Stereogram in great 6th position as well. Curry's going up the outside of Ayrton. He's going to have a look on the inside. There's contact on the Mercedes at the racing point, and a bit too close for comfort as well. Energetics by that Ferrari now as well, and now we've got Forza also getting by as Brandon's ghost car is just being mugged left, right and centre as they come down the start finish straight. No, then it's the Wellington straight as well. I don't even know where I am in the world, but what I do know is that this race is far from done, and this safety car has gone very dark overhead once again. I haven't heard much about what's going on then. Is Diego has just said, do you guys do full quality? Yes, we do, my good man. And look at Curly Red there going on the on the outside of the road there. Very close indeed then, as we're on board now as well with Ayrton, and as Curly is now passed, and that's Stereogram going a bit wide, then Stereogram down in 18th position to the start of this race. He's up in the 5th position. Bradfield, a lot of the alternative strategies is doing really well out there as well. Brilliant stuff indeed then, as we're going down on the outside then, and Stereogram's been overtaken by 2 cars there, and Stereogram now, as he's struggling with the tyres out there, perhaps then I think he's just being cautious at this moment in the race, and of course Stereogram has not got any points yet in his career so far, has he? As we're coming over the line once again, and it's Artie Wee has left the session there. He and Newman were both out of the race then early on this session, unfortunately then, as now we've got the 2 Alfa Romeo, the Constructors World Champions from last season, are now going head to head, nose or tail then, as we're on board now as well. As you can see then, as we are going into the loop as well before accelerating the way down. As Sarah Graham's got a bit wide then. Energetics then. Energetics. Oh my goodness me then. It's getting very close then between the two Alpha Romeo drivers. And Energetics has taken his position then. As Sarah Graham is having a look on the inside there of his teammate. And that was getting very close for comfort. It was a bit too close for comfort, wasn't it? Forza is now under the cosh now from Roscoe in 10th position as they come over the curb edge. And accelerating the way down. So 4.3 seconds to gap between the two Williams. Guna holding his own fantastically well in third position. Bradfield in a superb fourth fed with Curly Red is coming back through the field in fifth position. He has made a stop already, Curly Red has, and I'm wondering if it will be a mistake not to go into the hard tyres perhaps, and we'll find out later on in this as this event unfolds then, but that potentially might be a mistake then. We'll soon find out then as we're now coming down into the look at Forza then as well. Forza is through, he is up in 8th position, and Roscoe is up and in on position. Sarah Graham has been passed and has dropped down into 10th position now as well then, as Sarah Graham now figures just struggling with those tyres, and oh goodness me, I thought he's on a lunge on the outside then, as now coming into the final part of the lap as well then. So then now we're on board with Stee at the moment, and of course Stee has accumulated I think 2 penalties so far. Energetics, if he comes in the pits again, is going to have a 5-second penalty to serve, and he's got another 5-second penalty as well as we go into turn 1. Oh my goodness me, and oh my gosh, and Stee there wow, good stuff from Stee to keep it out of the wall there, but Sarah Graham there gave him a good old squeeze, didn't he? And now Energetics has gone the outside of Ayrton and moved up into 7th position as well, as goodness gracious me then, that was getting very feisty, wasn't it? And unfortunately then now Steve there was almost into the wall there, but look at this, we got three abreast going into Brooklands, and look at this, and Mars is through. Sarah Graham is going on the outside then, and Sarah Graham is not giving up, is he? But fantastic performance, but I think Red Bull's on the outside now. Sarah Graham is on the softer tyre, but I think those soft tyres might be past their best then. Now Sean Hammers is next as well, and Sean Hammers is right underneath the rear wing of Sarah Graham. Sarah Graham is now going to have to defend Cops. He can't there because he's now on the outside. Sean Hammers is now up into 12th position. Sarah Graham dropping down into 13th position then. Curly Red is now all over the back then of it's all over the back of Bradfield as well. As they're coming down the hangar straight in as well. Look in the background, there's a Ferrari all over the back of the Mercedes then. Curly Red is now up into 4th position. Bradfield down to 5th, and Forza is up into 7th position as well. Passes Ayrton. Ayrton on old medium tyres at the moment as well, but he's going for the long game then. Good stuff indeed then. Oh goodness me then, it's got to say, that's a absolutely epic part of the race, isn't it? My gosh, as look at this, as Sarah Graham there is in 40th position now, as he's dropping down the order like a stone at the moment, isn't he? I think that those soft tyres have probably had its day by looks for Sarah Graham, unfortunately, but it's been great to see Sarah Graham right in the thick of things, hasn't it? I've been loving to see Sarah Graham right up there as well, so but unfortunately there, I think those tyres might have had it there for Sarah Graham, but we'll find out what he could do later on in the session as well. We've lost we've lost 4 cars. Camera Racer, Brandon, Newman and Hardy, we are all out of this race at the moment. Curly Red is up the inside of Gunnar, he passes the Irishman and moves up into 3rd position. Gunnar dropping down to 4th position then. Good stuff indeed, excuse me. Oh gosh, and now we got Bradfield now, who is all over the back of Gunnar as well. So Curly is now only 8 seconds away from the race leader, which is Velocity at the moment. So Curly Red has made a stop then, but I think he's going to have to make at least another stop as well. I think anyway, though. I might be wrong about that, but we'll soon find out, won't we? And now Roscoe is coming up to the back of Ayrton as well then, as I've got to say the safety car has really fired up this race, hasn't it? It's been fantastic so far. On board with Roscoe, they're getting a great exit out of Chapel as well, and now we got Mike who's past Sarah Graham as well. Look at this, and Ayrton is drifting to the inside there, so Roscoe's going to go on the outside into Stowe, and look at this fantastic, but oh look at this, a wheel to wheel the exit there. Where is Ayrton? Ayrton is down into 9th position then, and Roscoe is up into over to 8th position as well. Now next on Ayrton's defensive list is Mars, and he is 3/10 of a second away at the moment. I'm going to go back to this battle here then, because it is Bradfield and Gunnar then, who are very close there into turn. Who's that? As now we're just watching Gunnar, and I don't know why I got very confused about that there, even though I am in control of what we're seeing then, but I still got confused then, which is standard stuff really, isn't it? Now coming down the Wellington straight as well, and keeping an eye on the gaps at the front as well, as we're on board Gunnar and Curly is on the left-hand side now. He passes, and no, he doesn't. Sorry, it's Bradfield who's on the left-hand side. Then he passes Gunnar, but Gunnar, is he going to go on the inside? No, he doesn't there. As I think Gunnar might have feathered the throttle there slightly, just to just because he's on course for points. This is not his fight there, Gunnar, is it? He's taking very much the pull. The rest are kind of thinking to this Grand Prix at the moment there, as he is more about managing those tyres, isn't he? He wants to get to a sensible window to come in the pits, put on those medium tyres, and then come back out. As we're on board now as well then with Velocity then. Lovely stuff indeed coming through. Maggots and Beckett's as well then, as accelerates away. Gunnar's gone wide then, so up the inside goes Energetics. Energetics there, just about using the track width and then some there, and Energetics is now up into 5th position there, 9/10 of a second away from Bradfield as well. What is going on here? I'm not sure. Red Bull's gone, and Red Bull is gone in this race, and she's on the exit, and I'm not sure what's going on there then, but that's a very strange place there, and we're just seeing, and then that is not good at all for Red Bull. I wonder if it looks like it was Sean Hammers and Steve also involved as well, perhaps, then is this is oh dear, this is not good at all. The yellow flag in sector 3. We've also got another yellow flag out there as well as Maz is having issues there. He's on the straight as well. There is all kinds of shenanigans. Red Bull out of the race, and that's our 5th retirement in the British Grand Prix. Maz has got damage to his front wing now. It is all going off in this race at the moment. Oh my goodness gracious me! Then this is absolutely well. It's been an action-packed couple of laps, hasn't it? Goodness, out of the pits now. Sean Hammers also changing the nose cone as well, so I think Sean Hammers might have been involved somewhere, as Brandon is also coming in the pits as well, but Brandon unfortunately is out of this race. No virtual safety car for that one, but that was a huge incident there. It really was then as well, as we're now just coming up to Cop's corner as well. Curly Red now is now coming into the caution, isn't he, so to speak? Oh, but he's not under no means any kind of caution, is what Force is at the moment, as he is under a lot of pressure, isn't he? And Ayrton is also getting squeezed by Steve as well in 8th and 9th position. And lovely shot here from on board with the side pod of the Renault. Lovely some deep there, course 7. This will be the last game. Oh no, Mike has had some issues again. It's the same corner now for the McLaren driver, and it just shows how much preparation these guys take. And with Mike having issues today and not being able to, and Mike's disqualified from the race there, and that is both McLarens out of this great race then. That is a big blow indeed then, and Mike, what a shame now. And it just shows that it just shows that how much preparation is involved in a league race, doesn't it? Oh my goodness me! You see, when you have issues during the day and you can't practice it, you're just so much beyond the 8 ball, aren't you? And that's unfortunate for Mike, isn't it? Of course, 3rd and 4th in the World Drivers' Championship are both out of this stage of proceedings as well. The championship leader is leading this race by 7 seconds. Curly Red is not putting the pressure on Velocity as much as I was expecting. Energetics, though, I think might be sneaking into the zone now of going to be taking the lead then. Interesting stuff indeed then. As we're on board then, it's just having a look at the comments as well. There's been a lot of comments actually going on whilst I've been nattering away then as well. Roscoe is just coming out of left field as well then, as just in the Sam was saying that did the game just disqualify Mike for spinning then. Well, I hope no. Well, he did spin there, but I think I'm wondering if he was parked there slightly too long perhaps there for Mike. But it's such a shame there, isn't it, for Mike, as we already mentioned there, lack of preparation, and because of the issues he's had today, it's really been a very difficult event now for Mike, hasn't it? But it's such a shame now that his efforts was in the end to nothing at all, wasn't it? So now Bradfield is having to defend the inside, but it says Energetics is on the outside. Bradfield has got the inside line then, the shortest route then, but Energetics has got more pace in those tyres. He is through and up into 4th position, and good stuff indeed. Bradfield starts to come in the pits then, along with Nunda and Velocity then. Everyone who came in the pits then are now coming back through the field then, and now overtaking the guys who are on the older tyres at the moment as well. So Bradfield is now dropped down to 5th position. Roscoe is still giving Fords some aggravation, isn't he? As you can see, look at it, there's Fords who won this event last season, didn't he, in bronze. There his only race win in bronze so far. He's in 6th position among there, but Fords are much more back on form, isn't he? As he was struggling at the beginning of this game then, but he's looking much more like a racer these days, isn't he? DRS is open on the rear wing of the at the run out there, as he is now coming down the back straight as well. I think we're down to 14 cars, and if I'm not very much mistaken now. Camera Racer and Brandon are both out of this, unfortunately, as we're just on board then. Coming out of left field as well then, as you see Forza there is still being put under pressure there, isn't he? So coming up into Cops corner, oh my goodness me, as he's going to have a look into, no, not quite then, into Cops, and as you can see there, as Roscoe runs right down, loses a bit of momentum then, back on board now with Energetics then. He is now 11-ish seconds, about 12 seconds there down the road from Velocity then, and Velocity is trying to extend this thing because he wants to go into the soft tires at the end of this race. We're going to have a sprint at the end of this race. Fantastic stuff indeed then, as we're back on board then with Energetics at the moment then. Curly Red there has still got the position at the moment in time now. I think Forza and Roscoe are going to also be right in the thick of this then, so do not go anywhere, folks. This is going to be a fantastic end then. It's going to be a fantastic end to this race. It really is, as the pit window is now open then. It's now open for business, and as France got a 3-second penalty as we just watch it. Oh, Energetics is on the outside then, so Curly Red is going to defend the inside, coming into the loop, and Energetics is through, but Curly Red will have the more momentum there. He has the more grippier part of the circuit, and he swoops through and still in front of Energetics. Energetics will have DRS going down the back straight. That Ferrari's out of the race, unfortunately, the one we just in, and oh, I thought Energetics was going on the outside there. Curly Red there was not going to allow that, was he? And he is still there or thereabouts, and we've got two cars merged into one there by the looks of it. But just judging from that angle, and indeed they are. I think it's a Red Bull. It is a Red Bull and a Ferrari there, so very close to go there. I got to say, Camera Racer and Brandon getting very friendly with each other there, aren't they? Goodness me. We're leaving. I think we should leave them to it. We will leave them to it then, because we need to be more focused on this battle here. Then this is the battle for the final podium. But more importantly, the amount of time that Energetics is losing behind Curly Red now is the gap is now up into about 14 seconds-ish, isn't it? So he has lost about 2 seconds or thereabouts, hasn't he? Goodness me. As now then he is coming down the back straight as well. Into the pits comes Velocity. He has got 10 laps now to put a spurt on, hasn't he? And he is going to be on those soft tires. Nunda is staying out of course there because they are not they are too close there to do stacking, I think, because they were 6 seconds apart now, but I think the mechanics will still have been getting in position then. So Curly Red will be leading this race then in the not too distant future. Now Velocity comes out of the pits, and it's such a long pit in and pit out here, isn't it, in terms of the amount of times you are on the limiter. So he's coming out on 8th position, and he's going to come out into 9th position. Well, we're on board there of Ayrton. Ayrton might, both Mercedes have got in front of Velocity as well. Velocity has got a lot of time to make up. We'll look at the gaps in the next lap or two as well then, because I think that is that too much of a gap there for Velocity? Well, we're going to have to find out anyway. Goodness me then. So Darren is wondering what Gunnar is going to do now then. Well, at the moment, Gunnar's in 12th position, isn't he? He's on fresh medium tyres. Gunnar is till the end of the race then, and there's going to be a lot of guys on the medium tyres and they're going to be starting to get to the end then. Fran has passed his teammate Ayrton and now up into 8th position there. Fran on 15 lap ode, 12 lap ode hard tyres. Ayrton is on the medium tyres there, and I think the only other man on the same age of tyres is actually Nunda as well. So those medium tyres are looking well past their best, and look at this, and then Velocity has passed Ayrton. He's up in the 9th position then, passes the Mercedes, and he is on his way as well. We're just keeping an eye on what Nunda is doing. Energetics is still behind Curly, but he's not anymore then because he's on the outside. Oh, I thought there was a bit of contact there. I think there's oversteer. Energetics has got a 3-second penalty as Curly comes into the pits then, as he's done 10 laps, and so Curly then is on a 2. So he's also got a 5-second penalty. Curly has for speeding in the pit lane. Energetics then is taking the lead here in the British Grand Prix, but he has a 13-second penalty, and that might be the pivotal moment here in this race then. So Bradfield is in 2nd position. 3rd position is Forza with Roscoe in 4th position. So Bradfield is going to be able to hang it out on those tyres. Velocity is now in 6th position. Steve is in 5th position. Fran is now in 7th position, and Nunda is coming out of the pits as well. Mars is also as well. So Ayrton now change, and it looks like they were changing the nose cone on that Mercedes, so he's coming back out of the pits now as well. This race is far from done, ladies and gentlemen. At the moment, in the box seats, as it stands, then in terms of strategy and things like that, and Energetics just said he's got 16. Oh goodness me, I think that's it anyway. So if he's got 16 seconds worth of penalties, he's very much on the back foot at the moment, Energetics, isn't he? And the question is now, who is in the box seats? Well, Bradfield is going to be leading this race in terms of the times, isn't it? It's going to feel like Japan, 1990... 99.4. Yes, 99.4, where he had to do aggregate times, all that kind of jazz there. I'm no good at these times as well, so luckily the game is going to do it for me, isn't it? So that's good stuff indeed there. So as it stands at the moment, I think Bradfield's in the race, but he is on 16-lap old medium tyres then. Are those tyres going to be able to do another 10 laps for Bradfield? This has been an incredible stint now from Bradfield, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to get to the end. Energetics is in the pits then, so Energetics is coming in the pits and Bradfield leads this race. What's going on for Energetics then? Oh goodness me, Bradfield's internet's gonna pack up in 5. Well, Darren there is very brutal, isn't he? Energetics in the pits and so Manu Woodsley in the race there. It's coming in. This is very unexpected there for Energetics. He is coming in the pits there. He has changed. Hey, look at this. He's serving the penalty already, and so that so he's taken 1 5-second penalty off at the moment then. As this is well, he's on the soft tires now, and Roscoe's got a 3-second penalty. This is going to get very tasty indeed, isn't it? I have no idea who's going to win this British Grand Prix. It's absolutely fantastic. With Velocity at the moment there is 2.2 seconds behind us, Steve, but he is on the soft tires, isn't he? Fran is on the older 14-lap old tires as well. Nunda is also on the soft tires now, and a very strong race. Both Williamses are in it. They potentially could have a 1-2 here, but they got a lot of overtaking to do with 8 laps to go then. On board there with Ross Goodman. He is giving Forza all kinds of pressure at the moment, isn't it? But this is incredible stuff indeed, isn't it? I'm really enjoying this one. This has been absolutely fruitful, hasn't it, to say the least? Bradfield, though, he's still got some pace in those medium tires, isn't he? Look at this. He is actually, at the moment, he is gaining actually coming down this back straight now. Look at this, and Roscoe is all over the back of the Ferrari. He's all over the back of the Ferrari. Is he going to go on the outside? He is trying to go on the outside, but Forza's not allowing him on the outside. Incredible stuff, and this is helping Bradfield because it's now a 3-second deficit. Thereabouts is Bradfield. No, he's in the pits there, isn't he? Bradfield's in the pits. Forza, who won this race last season, is now leading the British Grand Prix. He's going for 2 for 2 in this race. Bradfield in the pits now as well. And Steve is up into 13th position as well. Fantastic stuff there. Wow, an incredible British Grand Prix. But Velocity is coming at him with such velocity as well. Fran in a very strong 5th position as well. Nunda in 6th position. Bradfield coming on the pits as well. Here comes Maz, followed by his teammate Curly Red as well. Energetics then getting rid of one of those 5-second penalties, but he's still got a lot of penalties, doesn't he? Which I can't do it in my head. Then I haven't got. My fingers are a bit busy at the moment. Then now Velocity is went into straight there was not quick enough there, wasn't it? As just now on board then with Velocity. Then so he comes out of left field as well, and you can see adjusting the power. He has got that green bar means he's on the overtake there. As Steve there just wandered off the track slightly. As Velocity is up the inside, passes Steve, moves up into third position, but Steve's trying to come back at him. No, not quite. Then as the job might be done then for Velocity. Good stuff indeed, and he is now up into a fantastic third position then. Now he is 2 seconds away from this battling duo here, which is Roscoe and Forza. Roscoe, I think, is the quicker of the 2 cars, but unfortunately, and he probably could have and should have got past Forza a couple of laps ago, but Forza's been defending absolutely fantastically well, hasn't he? He is battling for this race win, isn't he? Forza, they're going to be on such older tyres, so aren't they? With the soft tyre, with the soft shod Velocity coming at him at a right old rate there as well. Oh, Forza's gone off the track there. As you can see, I think he must have had a bit of understeer on that Ferrari. The car just didn't want to turn, did it, coming into the final turn as they now come over the over turn 1 and 2. There is Velocity now. Oh my goodness me, this is a fantastic race, isn't it? Once again, it's been superb. Bradfield has come out in 10th position then. So with Bradfield now, can he get a storm on and get some points then? Gunnar is in at 11th position, just outside the points of the boat then. Ayrton in 13th position, 14th for Stereogram. Those are the remaining cars in this race then. As we're just on board then with Roscoe again, and a second and a half. That's what it looks like in Formula 1 terms is Velocity, and he is just gaining over these guys hand over fist then. As we've also got Nunda as well, who is putting pressure on Fran in 5th and 6th position. We've also got the 2 racing points going into combat of Maz and Curly then, as the alternative strategies are now starting to really mix these things up. And Roscoe, look at this, and as Roscoe was gaining quite heavily on Forza at the moment, as it looks like Forza is struggling as Curly Red is passed. He passes Maz down the old national pit straight as well, and he is through and up into 7th position then. Has he got the pace then to get after Nunda? Nunda is all over the back of Fran. Fran again having a cracking race then, isn't he? In the Mercedes, and the other Mercedes just got a 3-second penalty of Ayrton. He is down in 13th position. Ayrton is at the moment over the shoulder shot at the moment there with with Roscoe, who is 4/10 of a second back at the moment as we come through to complete another lap there. Whereas at Nunda there, it looks like he ran out of track there as well. 5 laps to go then, and there is Velocity. He can see what he wants most in this race, and that is the race win. These are the two battling away at the moment, and the question will be is, can these two remain on the podium then? They've been fantastic, they really have been, but Steve is now also starting to hunt him down as well. There's 2.2 seconds, and Steve is away from us. They come down the Wellington straight as well. As Velocity is a bit too far back at the moment for these two, isn't it? Oh goodness me, it's getting very tight, isn't it? And Fran there, well, it's a lot closer between these two here. Then look at this, Nunda is through. He passes Fran and moves up into his 5th position there. Nunda is through. Lovely stuff indeed. And now 7 seconds separates Nunda and Steve then for 4th position. Then has he got enough time for Nunda to get through and also get onto the podium as well? Because it's been a cracking race there for Nunda. Look at this though, as Roscoe is all over the back and forth. So once again, Energetics got past Mars as well. Energetics is throwing the set of soft tires there as he made an extra stop, didn't he? Which was quite unusual, wasn't it, from Energetics? But that might be his stride to try and get out get as much seconds out of him as possible because of all the penalties he's got there. And he was on the harder tyre, which will be quite a slow way to end this race, won't it? And that's what Roscoe and Forza's doing. And look at this, as Forza's, I'm sorry, and then it's Velocity on the inside, Roscoe's on the outside, as Rembo is out of the race earlier on, I should say. As we're not sure what happened to Rembo, so hopefully someone can enlighten us before the end of the stream then. And look at this. And his Velocity is all over Roscoe. He's going to go to tower. We're on board there. Look at this, and he is through. He passes Roscoe. He moves up in a second. No, Roscoe's coming back at him. Roscoe's not giving up, is he? But you break it. Oh! Roscoe's off the circuit. Roscoe is off the circuit. Oh goodness me, was that contact? Well, and I think he got damaged there. I can't see because I got a rubbish camera angle. And oh goodness gracious me then. And there must have been contact as well. And oh gosh, there is Velocity then is we've got a virtual safety car, and we're just watching Roscoe, and I think he's got no front wing. The Renault driver's done a fantastic race. I'm not sure if him and Velocity came to blows there, but it did look quite suspect, didn't it? He's got damage to that front wing on that Renault. Oh dear, and Roscoe's this is his strongest performance in an ALR league, and oh my goodness me, he'll be absolutely devastated with that there. What a shame then. Sam has asked what's happened there. I don't really know, to be honest there. I don't know what happens anyway, but so I'm not sure if Velocity has got all his pieces put in the right direction then, and that has also helped in a way Forza, hasn't it? Because now I've got Roscoe breathing down his neck, or as you can see there's Roscoe there. Is Roscoe there taking evasive action? Nunda's now up in the 4th position then, and Fran is now in the 5th position. What a shame there for Roscoe. What a twirl with 4 laps to go then. He was on course for a fantastic performance there, and that is such a shame. It really is indeed that. And look at Energetics. Oh my goodness me, there was a gap. He went for it. He is up into 7th position on the tyres and margins there. He is up into 7th position now. He passes Curly Red, and goodness me, if you don't go for a gap, you're no longer a racer. Well, Energetics took that to the extreme, didn't he? Goodness me, and Curly Red also getting him a good old squeeze as well. Look, they're seeing the background there, so 2.5 seconds now, isn't it, between Steve and Forza, as we're back on board now then, as Energetics has now moved his way back up into the 6th position as well then, as we're coming down the Wellington straight, and Roscoe is in the pits, and where is he going to come out then? He's only changed tyres. Gunnar is now in the points as well, and let's see then, as you can see we're on board then, as Sam does depend on if Velocity has tyre advantage then, because it does depend on it, but I think as you can see 20 laps on the hard tyres. He's gone on the outside of Forza, and is he going through? He has gone through, and he takes the lead then. Velocity leads the British Grand Prix then, and his strategy there, of course, he didn't budge on the strategy at all. The safety car came out earlier on there. He kept to the strategy, and I gotta say he has been phenomenal, hasn't he? Velocity has in the last 3 races. He has been absolutely intense there, hasn't he? And last week there as well, it was a great race. Oh, there's a stall over. Forza's on the outside. Forza's on the outside there, and look at this. Look at this. This is incredible stuff. And Velocity is back down a second because Forza takes the lead. He is not giving up this lead, is he? He hasn't won since this time last season. We was here in the British Grand Prix. fantastic stuff indeed. So Forza is not giving an inch as we come across the line with 3 laps to go. Wow, incredible stuff indeed. This is absolutely fantastic. German, what a move! It was an incredible move, wasn't it? Lovely shot here again from Velocity. And I think that, of course, from a sentimental value, we're all cheering for Forza, haven't we? But of course, Velocity is going for a championship. There's no sentiment, is it, when you're going for a world championship? We're on board now once again with Velocity. He goes side by side with Forza, and he takes the lead once again then, going into Brookland. Is the Ferrari going to come back at him there? That's the beauty about Silverstone, isn't it? Because there's a lot of places where you can come back at your opponent, and brilliant stuff indeed then. As now then, his Velocity has now got so much more purchase there out of the corners, hasn't he? Coming out of left field was absolutely just took off, didn't he? And he takes lead now then. His Forza will probably be dropping back now, but Forza, this is an incredible drive there. Like in Austria, similar to Velocity. Velocity and Forza having 2 very strong races in a row, aren't they? And good stuff indeed. Then can Forza now keep Steve at bay, and Steve is 2.2 seconds back. They're on the same life of tyre. Nunda is 5 seconds back, well, 6 seconds back almost. And so I think the Nuna might be too far back, but Steve does have a couple of penalties. I can't remember seeing if Forza has any penalties. As I'm just watching now, then Curly Red there is still in the wheel tracks of Energetics. Energetics seems to have dropped off a cliff slightly in the last couple of laps or so. So just on board now, and he's still in DRS then, Curly Red is. So he's got DRS down the hangar straight as well, as we're on the second to last lap then. Look at this, that he's gaining. Mars and Bradford are also starting to duel in the background as well. Brilliant stuff indeed then. There's a lot of course you guys there. The D-pad master there's also, come on, Forza as well. Brilliant stuff indeed there. And yes, it was absolutely cracking indeed then. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, it really was. Forza still in DRS going down the Wednesday straight there. So Forza is absolutely fantastic on those hard tires, isn't he? Good stuff indeed. And we're just now gone back to Energetics, who is second in the World Championship. The third and fourth drivers in the World Championship are out of the race then. Nundo, who's fifth in the World Championship, is going to really be taking a dent out of the 2 McLaren drivers, isn't he? Which is very much what he wanted, but I think Nuno's struggling on those tires now, isn't he? Going down the back straight, and look at this, and it's Curly Red there. Oh, and look at that there, a bit of a chop there up on the Energetics, and he is through. I don't do 6th position there. Energetics dropping down into 7th position as well. Bradfield there, also finding the Wednesday straight. It's not long enough at the moment, is it? So now then, his Energetics there is on the side by side with Curly Red, then goodness gracious me then, and look at this, and it's Curly Red is on the inside, Energetics is on the outside, and look at this, and it's very close indeed, then, and all bit of a squeeze as well, so going into maggots, and goodness me then, Energetics is back up into 6th position there, but we have DRS then coming down the hangar straight then, as you can see there. Look at the amount of wash he's getting there from the dirty air of Energetics. Energetics is trying to break the slipstream, isn't he? As you can see coming down the hangar straight once again. Look at Bradfield in the background. Bradfield is stepping out there. He is past Martin, moves up into 8th position then. We're on the final lap. Oh goodness, we're on the final lap, and I almost missed it. 3-second penalty from Mars as well to add to his troubles, not just being overtaken, but also but also getting a 5-second penalty added on to the remainder of his race as well. We're just watching Velocity. What an absolute incredible performance from this man. The man who's in the championship by 42 points there. This is he is going to be adding to his lead as well today. This is going to be his 3rd race win of his career. Last week was impressive. This week was absolutely phenomenal, wasn't it? Of course, last week he controlled the race, didn't he? He just controlled the race then, but today he was stuck to his strategy there. It was all about the strategy, wasn't it? And not only that, it was also about the overtaking maneuvers as well, wasn't it, for Velocity? He has been on fine form, hasn't he, Velocity has there? And once again, he is now starting to really stretch his legs in the championship chase, isn't he, for bronze? See, he's got another 3-second penalty. That might cost him a podium here in the here in bronze as well, which is such a shame for Steve, because he's on a fantastic race, isn't he? Roscoe would also have been in there as well. Roscoe potentially could have been staring at a podium here if he didn't damage his front wing, which might be investigated on the race after the race. We'll find out though. But Velocity, his 3rd race win at bronze there, and here he is, wins the British Grand Prix. What a race there for Velocity. Forza in 2nd there. Brilliant stuff from Forza. Nunda is going to come through in 3rd position there, because Steve's got a lot of penalties as well. So So Nunda in third position there. It's fourth position is Steve. Fifth is Fran there. Energetics is going to come through in sixth position there. Who is so he's also got a 5-second penalty as well. As currently it's Bradfield moving up into sixth position there. Good stuff indeed from Bradfield. Mars in eighth position as well. Gunnar is coming through to go into a very strong 10th position there for Gunnar. Lovely stuff indeed there. Nolan is 9th position there. Mars there is dropping down the order, so he'll be in 10th. Gunnar is in 9th position. Hammers in 11th on his return, with Roscoe in 12th position and Ayrton in 13th position there. But Velocity has been absolutely fantastic, hasn't he, today? He has got the strategy absolutely bang on there, and his performance was absolutely immense. It really was. It was scary at times. Strategy perfect. Perfect strategy. Perfect race win as well. Bradfield getting driver of the day there, because once again Bradfield has a poor qualifying and a great race. He seems to have a one or the other right. Gets a great qualifying, poor race, poor qualifying, great race indeed there. Really good stuff indeed. Showing a lot of love in the comments as well. Then GG France, a brilliant drive from France today. Forza, what a drive as well. A lot of supporters out for Forza, and also there's also a lot of comments in there about Velocity as well, and how incredible he was today. He was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he? Velocity was, and well, that ends our adventure for the British Grand Prix for ALR. I got to say, it's been fantastic, hasn't it? We've had 3 incredible races there. And that was a strange old race, wasn't it? To finish off there, and Darren just confirmed that Bradfield definitely deserved driver of the day. Yes, indeed he did. Hats off to him there. Hats off to I think I've seen someone there with no penalties at all, wasn't it? It was like Gunnar with no penalties, and oh no, it was Sean Hammers who had no penalties. Also, no penalties for Velocity, Forza, and Nunda as well. Velocity there, pole position to check a flag, but it wasn't that easy, was it? Of course, he stuck to his strategy there, and a brilliant performance there. He also showed how good he was at overtaking and coming back through the field there. Forza in second today, brilliant stuff indeed. Nunda on the podium, great stuff for Williams, wasn't it? Steve in fourth position, fifth was Fran. Bradfield driver of the day, 19th to 6th. Energetic 7th, Curly 8th, Gunnar 9th, 10th was Mars. Outside the points of Sean Hammers. Ayrton in 12th position, Roscoe in 13th, Stereogram in 14th position. Retirements was Camera Racer, Brandon, Mike, Rempo, Newman, and Artie Wee all retired from this incredible British Grand Prix then. And of course I'm now joined in the gantry by of course our rostrum winners as well. Let's start with Velocity. Velocity, that's your second race win in a row, and that's your third race win of your career. I said last week that Austria's performance was absolutely insane, but this week not only did you show you had the pace out in front, but you also showed your overtaking and strategy prowess today. Brilliant stuff indeed.
Yeah, no, I knew exactly what the tyres could do, to be fair. I am a bit baffled the one hit Hilke did hit the second time. He was on the hards, they could easily have got to the end. I'm really confused about that. I don't think I would have caught him otherwise, but honestly, incredible. It's glad to see Forza back up here though. Almost a switcheroo from last year. It's good.
It really is indeed then, and so even with the safety car coming out, it didn't even cross your mind now to go into the hard tires. You knew exactly what you wanted to do.
It scared me a bit, I'm not gonna lie. I knew there was going to be a safety car at some point in the race, but I was not touching the hards. They're disgusting tyre, and I wasn't going anywhere near them.
Lovely stuff indeed. Well done, Velocity, but I've got to say that you're opening up a very handsome gap in the Drivers' Championship now. We're just over half distance. Are you thinking about the Drivers' Championship at the moment, or are you just still taking it race by race?
Oh, I've been thinking about the Drivers' Championship since China. This is, I think, my best opportunity to win a title, and if I can smash it next week, I'll be in a good position to take it. But I'll tell you what, I'm more interested at the moment in the constructors, and it's been another brilliant result for us again. So
yeah, really good stuff indeed. Well done, Velocity. Brilliant stuff indeed there. Your third race win of your career. Fantastic stuff. Let's go to Forza now then. Well, Forza, I think I read a comment there saying that you wasn't feeling too comfortable about this race, but you was 4 laps away from winning it on a very audacious strategy indeed then. But what a race today from yourself. Fantastic.
Peacefully qualifying, but yeah, the one-stop strategy worked pretty well. I was actually going to a little secret. The setup I used was my 2019 setup for this game and this race. The setup I won with last year, so that was a bit of a surprise. I was hoping to hopefully hold velocity up a little bit, but soft tires versus 20-something lap or hard tires wasn't going to work. But yeah, congrats Velocity, that was well deserved. But yeah, like you said, it was the switch from last year. But yeah, overall pretty happy, and hopefully we can go one step further at the next race.
And of course, that's your second podium in a row as well. So you seem to be finding form now. You did struggle at the beginning of this season with the new game, but you seem to be starting to really get in on a roll now with your second podium. Going into Hungary, how are you feeling for that race?
I like Hungary. I like the track, the setup. I got a good setup for Hungary. But yeah, let's see how it goes. I don't want to prematurely say I'm going to do well or anything. So we'll take it as it comes. I might not. I'm actually not sure if I'm racing in Hungary because I have a bit of an operation on Saturday, so and my recovery is 3 days. So hopefully I'm well enough to race on Tuesday.
Well, good luck for your operation, and yeah, and of course that does come first and foremost. So yeah, I think that's more important in Hungary. So if we don't see you in Hungary, we'll see you back in Belgium. That's it for the for ALR, for our adventure here at the home of motorsports. Now, the next race is the Hungarian Grand Prix, which is next Sunday. We start off with gold at 6:30 UK time. Then it's a dust bowl of a circuit, isn't it? First race was back in 1986 there. So another factual lesson for you all. Then from here though, it's goodbye from Silverstone. Fantastic.